It is another exciting Saturday afternoon. A very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play. It is 1400 Central African Time. We're coming to you live from the world-class African Institution of Broadcasting, the SABC, in Auckland Park, Johannesburg, in the Republic of South Africa, with sport and music from an African perspective. Live on DSTV Audio Bouquet Channel 802 or OpenView 628 if you are in South Africa. Alternatively, you can reach us from anywhere you are on channelafrica.co.za. Also available at your fingertips on SABC Plus. My name is Neto NETO Chemani. Hosiati Konyangazi Mumkatra Pantle Konjani Moyane Vugo Dendele. Africa at Play as Deleli Siashaya. Coming up on the show. Our topic of the day, Ugandan Premier League takes a different direction with a new format where 16 teams in the league will play first round 15 matches each. Then top 8 teams play against each other while the bottom 8 also tackles each other until the champions and relegation candidates. The question we are asking is this format likely to spread across Africa, and what are some possible advantages and disadvantages of it? Our Zambia-based correspondent Namuchana Likezo spoke to former Football Association of Zambia FAZ President Simata Simata.
The Ugandan Premier League format is a very, very brilliant idea. I can only hope that the rest of Africa can also sit down and review their leagues for many reasons. Now, I'm sure there are reasons why they've done this, but I can tell you about what will happen. Firstly, the first round of their league will be very attractive because every game will matter. All the teams will want to be in the top 8. That in itself will raise the standard of their game. That in itself will bring people back to watch. You know, people like to watch for a want of expression, blood. That's why they watch other sports like wrestling or kickboxing or whatever. They like to see a winner, not draws, 0-0, 1-1. You know, those are not interesting.
In the world of cricket, England secured a 10-wicket triumph over the Proteas women in their opening match of the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup 2025 in Guwahati yesterday. The Proteas were bowled out for 69 after 20.4 overs before England recorded a straightforward chase within 14.1 overs to secure this victory.
I wouldn't put it down to the toss. I think they did bowl very well. I think there was a lot of swing around early. I think Lindsay Smith was excellent with the new ball. I think it was just one of those days with the bat where top order failed and middle order failed on the same day. So yeah, not the ideal way to start the tournament. But I do think that we have shown some resilience with the bat in the last 18 months, and I'm sure that we will bounce back and come back better in the rest of the competition.
In South African football, Durban City coach Gavin Hunt has warned against inflated expectations despite his side's storming start to the season. On a chilly night at Chatsworth Stadium, his Chargers crushed Polokwane City 4-1 after extra time to book their place in the Carling Knockout quarterfinals.
We got a nice tight group of players. I think the players, you know, they want to learn, they want to improve. We've got a nice little tight team. Everybody's playing a part. And that's all you can ask for, you know, and keep it simple. We don't complicate things, I keep it simple. And once you keep it simple, the football will come out and, you know, it's not rocket science.
14:04 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a warm welcome to Africa at Play. We are together until 5 p.m. Central African Time. Let's look into fixtures taking place across the African continent and globally. In cricket, the ongoing Women's ICC ODI World Cup is currently underway in India and kicked off on Tuesday, the 30th of September. If you missed out of that action, worry not. Let's update you that India managed to win by 59 runs on a DLS method after posting 269 for 8 in 47 overs, while Sri Lanka posted 211 out of 45.4 overs, and their target was 271. And action continued midweek on Wednesday, the 1st of October. Australia women up against New Zealand women. Australia women winning by 89 runs after posting 326 out of 49.3 overs, while New Zealand posted 237 out of 43.2 overs. On Thursday, the 2nd, Pakistan women up against Bangladesh women. Bangladesh women winning that match by 7 wickets. Pakistan women posting 129 out of 38.3 overs, while Bangladesh women posted 131 for 3 out of 31.3 overs. South African women Proteas went down by 10 wickets against England yesterday after posting 69 out of 20.4 overs, while England posted 73 out of 0 out of 14.1 overs. Action continues today between Australia women and Sri Lanka women, which is ODI 5 of 31. India women will take on Pakistan women tomorrow at 11:30 Central African Time, while the South African Proteas return to the battlefield against New Zealand women on Monday the 6th of October at 11:30 Central African Time. England will take on Bangladesh women on Tuesday the 7th of October at 11:30 Central African Time. Let's move on to the Rugby Championship action as we speak. There is a match that is currently underway, that was underway earlier on, between the Wallabies of Australia and the All Blacks of New Zealand. The Wallabies going down by 14-28, half and a loaf, and that match has ended in that fashion, which means temporarily the All Blacks are on the summit of the Rugby Championship 2025 table, while Argentina, the Los Pumas, will welcome South Africa, that is the Springboks, 4-time world champions, at 3 p.m. Central African Time. And if the Springboks win their match, they should return back to the summit. And that's how it happens in the world of sport. Sometimes you lead, but it becomes a temporary lead. Let's move on to the beautiful game of football and look into the Premier League fixtures that are currently underway this weekend. Yesterday, we witnessed a match between AFC Bournemouth, match day 7 of 38, beating Fulham by 3-1. Leeds is currently underway against Tottenham Hotspur. 37 minutes of football has been played and it's currently 1-1. Manchester United are taking on Sunderland at 4 p.m. Central African Time, while the Gunners of London, Arsenal, will be up against West Ham at 4 p.m. Central African Time. Chelsea, the Blues, will be up against Liverpool, the current lock leaders and reigning champions, and that match is slated for 18:30 Central African Time. There's more action in the Premier League tomorrow. Everton taking on Crystal Palace at 3 p.m. Central African Time. Also at the same time will be Newcastle United up against Nottingham Forest, the Tricky Trees. Wolverhampton Wanderers, Wolves, will take on Brighton and Hove Albion at 1500 Central African Time, while Aston Villa Lockhorns are against Burnley at 1500 Central African Time. Then Brentford will take on Manchester City at 17:30 Central African Time, and that match is also happening tomorrow. There's action in South Africa with the Telkom Knockout competition currently underway. Let's update you about the matches. A match that took place yesterday was Gavin Hunt's Durban City beating Polokwane City Rise and Shine by 4-1. Orlando Pirates takes on Siwelele FC at 3 p.m. Central African Time. Orbit College, the newcomers, are up against TS Galaxy at 3 p.m. Central African Time. Golden Arrows, Bafana Bastende lock horns with Sekhukhune United at 1800 Central African Time. Mamelodi Sundowns, Kabuyelo Masandawana versus Marumo Gallants at 8 p.m. Central African Time. Then action continues tomorrow between Stellis Maroon and Gold outfit taking on the Golden Black of Kaizer Chiefs at 3 p.m. Central African Time. Richards Bay, the Natal Ridge Boys, takes on Chippa United, the Chile Boys, at 3 p.m. Central African Time. Then Magezi will wrap up the weekend up against Usutu Elmape Shankone, that is Amazulu, and that match is taking place tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central African Time. Let's go to Germany in Europe and find out what are the fixtures on that side of the world. There's action today that is going on. It will be Bayer Leverkusen who will be taking on FC Union Berlin at 15:30 Central African Time. Hoffenheim played against Köln yesterday, and Köln winning that match by a narrow 1-0 win. Borussia Dortmund, the Yellow Wall, will take on RB Leipzig at 15:30 Central African Time. Werder Bremen will be up against FC St. Pauli at 15:30 Central African Time. FC Augsburg takes on Wolfsburg at 15:30, and Eintracht Frankfurt will lock horns with Bayern Munchen, the reigning champions, at 18:30 Central African African time. VfB Stuttgart back to action against Herrenheim tomorrow at 15:30 Central African time. Hamburger SV up against FSV Mainz at 17:30 Central African time. And to close off the curtain on the Bundesliga this weekend will be Borussia Mönchengladbach up against SC Freiburg. 14:10 Central African time. It's time for our first break.
Africa at Play with Neto and ETO Chemane. Are you fluent in French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, and Kiswahili? Are you passionate about radio? And are you looking to work in South Africa? Do you have papers that qualify you to work in South Africa? In that case, we might have an opportunity for you to work for Channel Africa. Send us your CV and demo at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Remember, if you don't hear from us within 14 days, it means you have not made it or you have not been selected. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa at Play with Neto and ETO Chemane.
14:11 Central African time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play, the continent's best sport and music destination. My name is Neto and ETO Chemane. As we welcome to Africa at Play, Ezekiel Sello-Sepeng, who is a legendary South African middle distance runner who won silver at the Olympic 800 meters final in Atlanta in 1996, the 1998 Commonwealth Games and the World Championships final in Seville 1999. Who's going to talk to us about the USSA Cross Country Championships at the Tshwane University of Technology. The legend, Mr. Sepeng, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Thank you very much for the invitation, and all is well.
Thank you so much, and it's good to see that, you know, as a legend, you don't just triumph and be known for what you've triumphed during your active days, but you are still active in plowing back to the current generation of athletes. What are you witnessing on the ground? Is South Africa as talented as we always praise it?
Yeah, look, we at the moment we are in Mpumalanga. We have our cross-country trials, where we will be selecting our team that will represent South Africa at the World Athletics Cross Country in January in the USA. Yesterday, we had our senior cross-country trials, which is combined with our university champs, which was in Pretoria, Tshwane. And today, we moved to Mpumalanga. We've got our under-20 champs. It's combined with our schools cross-country champs. So we had a busy 2 days where we will be selecting our final teams that will represent South Africa at the World Athletics Cross Country in the USA, January.
Are you impressed with what you've witnessed so far, talent-wise?
Yeah, look, talent-wise, very, very, very impressed, you know, especially when it comes to the young athletes here in Mpumalanga during our schools championships. You know, a lot of athletes that are participating here are from the rural areas. And there's a lot of talent in South Africa. So we just need to be nurtured and make sure that these athletes are not lost into the system here.
And when you look at the state of athletics in South Africa and the African continent, what are your thoughts?
Look, the state of athletics in Africa continent, we've seen in the recent World Champs. I think we are on another level. We are catching up with the rest of the world, the likes of the USA. We've seen Botswana beating USA in the 4x4 relay. We've seen in the past South Africa doing well in the 4x1 relays. We've seen the likes of Akani Simbini, you know, this year at the World Champs in the 100 meters men, where usually we know that the US and the Europe and the Caribbean islands, they dominate that space. We had about 3 athletes that were in that final. I mean, the likes of Akani Simbini, Gift Otlela, and one of the athletes was from Nigeria. So we're catching up, and I think we are catching up too fast. Come 2028, I think we will be far in some of the events. Kenya, we know in the middle distance, they've always been there, and Ethiopia. So we're doing very well. Those events that we were not good in the past, like the field event, we've seen the javelin, the shot put. We're catching up with the rest of the world, yeah.
If you have just joined us, we're talking all things athletics on the African continent with the legendary Ezekiel Sello Sebeng, who is a South African middle distance legendary runner who triumphed silver in the Olympic 800 meters final in Atlanta 1996. And of course, it doesn't end there. He's got a whole lot of accolades that speaks to championship and the legend that he is. Mr. Sebeng, let's also talk about a girl child. Are we seeing a lot of female participants in athletics? Because it has been proven in different sporting codes that what a male athlete can do, it looks like a female athlete can do, and even better a lot of times.
Yeah, look, in the South African space, it's one of the areas that we really need to put our focus on it. So far we're doing very well. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. But for fast tracking the progress of our female athletes, we've introduced the relay project in South Africa, where we can fast track our athletes that can go to the Olympic Games. And so far things are going well. We had about two teams that consist of the female athletes in the 4x4 women in the relay. They won the bronze earlier this year in China during the World Relays, and also the mixed relays. So we as in the South African point of view, in Africa, we are catching. When we look at in Africa, we know in the middle distance, those events like the shot put and the field event, let me summarize it as it is, as a field event, we need to do a lot of work there. And things are going well. Athletes are going to the US and improve on the technicalities of the field event, where we know it needs a lot of work and the technicalities. And as I said, both male and female, but mainly on the female side, that's where we need to put more energy on it. But we also catching up, and not in the same pace as our male athletes. But I can say that one cannot be satisfied. But the process is there.
You've also spoken about how the African continent is playing catch-up to get to the level of other countries like your USA, Great Britain, China. These are the countries that we get to witness on the medals table of Olympic Games, always in that top 3 bracket. And when one unpacks it, you realize that it's not because they are better than Africa in any way, but it is because they capitalize on as many disciplines as possible. So if there's a discipline that the African continent is still sleeping on, the US will grab it, Great Britain will grab it, Canada will grab it, China will grab it. How long do you think it will take the African continent to take full advantage of multiple disciplines that we get to see at the Olympics, and not just participate on what they refer to as their strong points?
Yeah, look, it's a very difficult one, because the same countries that we playing catch up with them, they will come and take our athletes from Africa. Those athletes will represent the US. They will represent some of the countries in Europe. We've seen in a lot of countries like the Gulf countries, like the Qatar and the Saudi Arabias, and they come and take athletes from Africa, and we will always go backwards. We will never, it's a difficult path, for us to catch up, because once we're getting closer, those athletes will move to the countries. Recently, we had a Nigerian athletes on the 100 and 200 meters who've moved to Turkey, because of the support system. And I think that's a major problem for us in Africa, where other countries, they've got a better supporting system for athletes, and at the end of the day, athletes, they are doing this for living. Some have to support their family, so they'll have to make a decision and move to the greener pastures, and that is why we always lagging behind when it comes to the other events. But as I said, that we're working very hard to push and catch up. The likes of Letsile from Botswana, we've seen what Botswana has done with their development of the athletes. Kenya, now we recently with Omanyala in the 100 meters, we are catching up. We always knew that Kenya is a middle distance country. We've got the javelin thrower also, they're doing well. There's a new female athlete from Kenya also doing the javelin. So hopefully we will never lose some of these athletes to the more established countries like the Europeans. Yeah.
14:21 Central African Time. We're wrapping up a conversation with the legendary South African athlete Hezekiel Sello Sepeng. Mr. Sepeng, please just stay on the line. We take a short break. When we come back, we'll wrap up with administration of athletics on the African continent, because you've touched on these countries that have a superior financial muscle over Africa that takes full advantage, and they take these elite athletes and convert them to theirs. But I'm thinking, if our administration on the African continent is well oiled, then those that are passionate about their African countries will stay on board. But it is an exciting conversation, because you've also touched on the fact that, an athlete also looks at their career path to say they've got to make money while they're still active, and time waits for no one. We'll touch on this point after the short break.
África. Conhece o Ntivani?
Claro que sou eu.
Ntivani é o amante da música de corpo e alma.
Eu amo música africana.
Ele aprecia todos os tipos de melodias e passa os seus dias a ouvir a Channel África. Okay. Adivinha só, a Channel África quer ajudar o Ntivani e os amantes da música em todo o lado a descobrir ainda mais música incrível. Por isso, a Channel África está a convocar artistas africanos a submeterem as suas músicas. Músicos, lembrem-se de nos dar todas as informações relevantes no music@channelafrica.co.za. As submissões são a vossa oportunidade de ser ouvidos, mas não garantem inclusão na lista. Todas as submissões serão cuidadosamente analisadas para verificar se cumprem os requisitos da nossa estação. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
From football fields to finish lines,
Eliud Kipchoge storms into the history books.
Neto Chemane brings you sports on Africa at Play.
14:23 Central African Time. A warm welcome to Africa at Play. We are live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time. We've got the legendary athlete from South Africa, Hezekiel Sello Sepeng, on the line, who's been to Tshwane and now in Mpumalanga, looking at South African talent in preparation for international upcoming events. Mr. Sepeng, as you've heard before the break, I was talking about poor administration when it comes to managing athletics across the African continent. And I must also put it clear that I know for sure that there are other federations of athletics on the African continent that are doing their best. But from conversations that we've had with different federations on the African continent, one can easily say that admin needs to be given that necessary attention, because of some of the athletes, they opt for foreign citizenship, not because they do not have love for their native countries, but because they are offered better deals. Of course, it will be the financial muscle, but also admin that is in order in other countries versus our very own African continent. What needs to be done for administration in Africa to be at the highest possible level? Because once we get to that point, then passionate and athletes that loves their native countries will remain on the African continent, and not everything will be about money.
It will always be the big topic when it comes to the administration, because that's where everything starts, all the plannings and all the preparations for the athletes. And with the preparations, you will need a financial support. With the financial support, once you're getting sponsors, you will need people that are responsible and that are able to use the funds properly. And we've seen across Africa, we have this problem of administration. We've got corruptions, not only in athletics, in all spheres of sports. You can go even in to the government spheres. It's a problem that everybody knows. It's been talked about that we do have a problem. Yes, there is other countries that are doing very well. For me, a very good example, you look at Botswana. It's not a very big country with a lot of athletes, and they keep on and improving each and every year. And once we can just learn from them, and make sure that we're heading into the right direction, and I think our athletics will catch up with the likes of the US or some of the European countries. Yes, the biggest problem for us, it is funding, but always where there is funding, there will always be corruption in Africa. So that's what is killing us, and there is a lot of good administrators out there with passion that wants to see the sports moving forward, and it's not all about people that have done the sports have to run the sports. It's administration. It can be people that have a passion about the sports, even if they were not super sports people in their lives, but if they have a passion for sports and wants to see the sports grow, I think we will be in good hands and in the right direction. Yeah.
Ezekiel Sello Sepen, the legendary athlete from Southern Africa in South Africa, 1996 silver medalist in Atlanta, and of course the accolades go more than that. Mr. Sepen, always an awesome pleasure talking African athletics with you on Africa at Play. All the best with scouting that talent. Let Africa triumph.
Thank you very much.
14:27 Central African Time. Let's update you about the Nigeria Premier Football League. Action got underway for match day 6 on Thursday already, where we got to witness Abia Warriors beating Remo Stars by 2-0. Match day 7 is ongoing today, and Pendel will be up against Nasarawa United at 5 p.m. Central African Time. More matches taking place at the same time is Al-Kanemi Warriors taking on Kano Pillars. There's also Kwara United taking on Abia Warriors. Shooting Stars versus Plateau United. Enugu Rangers battle it out with Katsina United, and this match is taking place tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central African Time. Another match at the same time tomorrow, Enyimba up against Rivers United, while Parawu takes on Wari Wolves. Bayelsa United will be up against Ekurodu City, and Niger Tornadoes takes on Kun Califat. And this is the action that you can expect from the Nigeria Premier Football League. We will continue to update you on different fixtures, different sporting codes across the African continent and globally. It's time to visit the dance floor.
You like what we do on Channel Africa? Then follow us on our socials. Channel Africa 1 on all social pages. And get the African perspective. Africa at Play. Beautifully, happily marrying sports and music.
Take all my mind, take all the joy now. Take me down, take all the love now. Tie me away, burn me alive now. Break me down right now. Now you wanna lock me away. I'm winning, you wanna add to my pain. I'm shining, now you won't come for my face. Ideally, we're not the same, no. So why you wanna try me? Can't try me, you're out to destroy me. Destroy me, you try to challenge me. You try to distract me. If I want the ganja, yeah, you bring the lighter, you roll me a visa, you set me on fire, yeah. So I woke up in the night, broke out of my chains, staying in lane, you don't know my name, you crossed the line, we will never die, this is where you went, ooh child, why you wanna lock me away, I'm winning, you wanna add to my pain, I'm shining, now you won't come for my face, I did it, but no, they were not the same, no, so why you wanna try me, can't try me, you're out to destroy me, you try to challenge me, you try to distract me, try me, yeah, try me. Out to destroy me, try to challenge me, try to distract me. If I was a ganja, you bring the lighter, roll me in Vista, set me on fire, fire.
14:32 Central African Time. That is a song by Thames titled Try Me. Let's now take you to the Spanish La Liga, where action continues today, and it will be jam-packed action with different teams playing for victory, and action will continue tomorrow. Today we're expecting a match between Girona and Valencia at 16:15 Central African Time. Athletic Club takes on Mallorca at 18:30 Central African Time, while Real Madrid, second placed, will be taking on Villarreal, currently lying third. It is a big match at 2100 Central African Time. Action continues tomorrow between Alaves up against Elche at 2 p.m. Central African Time. Sevilla in the mid-table will take on reigning champions, log leaders Barcelona, who are currently on the summit, and that match is at 16:15 Central African Time. Espanyol takes on Real Betis at 18:30 Central African Time tomorrow, while Real Sociedad will be up against Rayo Vallecano at 18:30. Celta Vigo takes on Athletic Madrid tomorrow at 2100 Central African Time. It is time to welcome our guest to Africa at Play, that is Onke Sejwayi, on his journey from Mossel Bay to Edujwa, walking the garden route to raise funds for a self-sustaining eco-lab in villages in the Eastern Cape. It is day 21 out of 27 days of this walk. Onke, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Hey, Budneto, thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much for joining us. See, consistency is on the chart. When you came to Africa at Play for a conversation, it was during the Nelson Mandela Walk and Run Week that happened in July. And here you are, you continue where you left off as the New Age Madiba. Talk to us about the latest in this walk. On which day did it start, and how did you get to day 21 of this walk, and how's it going so far?
I started the walk on the 14th of September from Mossel Bay. And the journey has been good so far. We've been getting a lot of support on the road in terms of accommodation. Because sometimes you get sponsored accommodations, but it will be only discounted. The amount will be discounted instead of paying the full amount, and then they will discount the amount for the accommodation, and then we'll get people from social media to help us to pay for the accommodation. So also people have been helping us with regards to petrol, help us with food on the road. People, they stop on the road now that they've heard about the walk. They stop and give us drinks, fruits, energy drinks. I want to just to continue with the walk. So we've been getting so much support from the people.
And let's talk about the reason why you are on this walk is to be able to build a self-sustainable eco-lab in villages in the Eastern Cape. From when you've started this project, how much have you raised so far? How much do you still need? And how are you planning to get to your target amount?
So far, we've raised 1,200. I think two people I saw when I checked on our Baker Body page. I saw there are two people who donated. One donated 200 and one donated 1,000. So we are still very, very, very far from raising the amount that we need, because based on the estimate amount from the architect who designed the eco-lab for us, he said that it will take 1 million. It will need 1 million to build that eco-lab in our village. So we are still very, very far. But yeah, we're not giving up. We are hoping that someone is listening, someone who has the resources, or a company, or someone who works for a company. I know there are companies who do such works, or there are non-profit organizations out there who do such work. So we are hoping that one of them is listening, or someone who knows someone is listening, and pass along the message for us to assist us. But yeah, we're not going to stop. Even if we don't manage to raise the funds now, we're always going to find creative ways to create awareness about lack of resources in the villages, and also to continue to fulfill this dream of building a computer lab. So we're not going to stop. We're just going to continue, going to find creative ways. But I think since this is my third walk, I think this is going to be my last walk now. So, but I'll just have to find other creative ways to raise funds for this initiative.
And Onke, for someone listening to this conversation who is a good Samaritan, who's willing to contribute positively to this great initiative of building an eco-lab in villages around the Eastern Cape, how do they go about it?
Oh, yeah, so you can either, on our social media, we have the link, the Beke Buddy link. So we have a Beke Buddy page that we're using to fundraise, which is online. So a lot of people have been using this page to raise for their own initiatives and for people that they know that need the money. So you can go on a Dream Out Loud SA, Dream Out Loud SA on our social media pages, be it on X, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. When you go to our bio there, you'll find the link. Or you can contact us directly on 062 513 7768. 062 513 7768. So you can contact us there, and then we're gonna send you the link directly. So if you wanna also help us for on the road as well, because this is a self-funded initiative, so everything that we're doing is from our pockets and from the assistance of people. So as I was saying, people have been assisting us with petrol, people have been assisting us with food, because we're so lucky that Isuzu gave us a car. So Isuzu is one of our partners. They gave us a car. Our Brain SA is helping us with PR, but when it comes to funds for the road, we have to do it ourselves. So if you want to assist with that regard, you can call us on 062 513 7768, and then we'll share all the information you need.
We are wrapping up a conversation with Onke Sejwayi, a man who's very passionate about Madiba and the legacy that he left behind. And he continues with taking 27 days a walk, representing the 27 years that Madiba had spent in jail as per reports. And he's currently on his third walk. He is walking all the way from Mossel Bay to Etujwa and walking the garden route to raise funds for a self-sustaining eco-lab in villages around the Eastern Cape. Onke, you've mentioned that this is your third and final walk. Why is that?
No, when I did my first two walks, I didn't have a family of my own. I didn't have kids. I didn't have a partner. So now that I'm away from my kids and my family, it's been very, very tough for me. Not physically, but emotionally and mentally, because I've never been away from them for this long. So that's why I'm saying, if I do the next walk again, it will be like a collective walk. Let's say we do a relay, one walks from this town to the next town, and then the other one comes and takes over, moves from this town to the next town. It will have to be something that's done by a collective, not by myself, not me walking across provinces for 27 days. So I think that's one of the reasons. And also I think it's time to move on and find other creative ways to create awareness and to raise funds. Because also it's not safe walking on the road. That's one thing people need to understand. It's not safe at all. There are accidents on the road. Someone can easily bump to me, or something can fall from the tire or from the car and come and hit me, or I can come across an animal, an endangered animal on the road. So it's not safe. But I think maybe now I'm speaking as a parent. But before, when I did this thing, when I did my first two walks, I didn't have kids. But now I'm thinking about my family now and my kids as well. So I don't want to be away from them for this long again.
14:40 Central African Time, Onke Sejwayi, the New Age Madiba, on his journey from Mossel Bay to Etujwa, walking the garden route to raise funds for a self-sustaining eco-lab in villages around the Eastern Cape. Onke, as we say goodbye, it is day 21 of your walk. You still need to get to day 27. How far are you from your destination? Do you think you'll make it on time?
No, I believe I'll make it on time. Now, this morning I just left East London because we're in East London for 2 days. Day 19 and day 20, we decided to take a break, and relax and go to the beach, stretch our legs. And then now, day 21, we are 1,039 kilometers away from our destination, which is when we look at how I've been doing, because I've been doing 35 kilometers to 40 kilometers a day. So if I continue to do that, we'll be there even before day 7. So we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
1,037 Ks to go, a walk that started on the 14th of September and will be concluding on the 27th day. Today is the 21st day for Onke and his team, and he's doing all this because he would like to build a self-sustaining eco-lab in villages around the Eastern Cape to help the young Africans, the young South Africans that are battling with this kind of resources. And we need this kind of nation builders to help those who can help themselves. Onke, always an awesome pleasure. All the best moving forward. Thank you so much for being the nation builder that you are.
Okay, thanks a lot, Neto, and thank you to you and the guys who have been assisting. Thanks to you and your team. Let me put it like that. Thanks to you and your team.
That's how we wrap up our conversation with Onke Sejwayi, originally from the Eastern Cape. He's been working for 21 days and his target is 27 days as he compares it to the 27 years that Madiba spent in jail, also known as the New Age Madiba. He's working from Mossel Bay to Edujwa, raising funds to build an ecolab for the disadvantaged youth in villages around the Eastern Cape. It's time for a short break. Coming back will be time for sports news.
From football fields to finish lines,
Eliud Kipchoge storms into the history books.
Neto Chemane brings you sports on Africa at Play. You heard something you like on Channel Africa, and you would like to hear it again. Worry not, we've got your back. Just go to our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, and look for our podcast.
(14:46) Central African Time. A very warm welcome to Africa at Play. If you have just joined us, we are together until 5 p.m. Central African Time. That was a song titled Kelebu by Rema, who is Divine Ikubu, known professionally as Rema, who is a Nigerian singer, songwriter, and rapper. He gained recognition with his 2019 song, Dumebi. It is time for sports news, kicking off with football news. Durban City coach Gavin Hunt has warned against inflated expectations despite his side's storming start to the season. On a chilly night at Chatsworth Stadium, his Chargers crushed Polokwane City 4-1 after extra time to book the place in the Carling knockout quarterfinals. The emphatic victory, combined with a solid fourth place standing in the Betway Premiership after 9 games, has generated a wave of optimism around the club. But Hunt was quick to temper the mood, cautioning his bosses and supporters not to get carried away with talk of trophies.
We got a nice tight group of players. I think the players, they want to learn, they want to improve. We've got a nice little tight team. Everybody's played a part, and that's all you can ask for, and keep it simple. We don't complicate things. I keep it simple. And once you keep it simple, the football will come out, and it's not rocket science.
The 4 times league winner added that the secret to Durban City's success was determined by a group of players willing to learn.
We got a nice tight group of players. I think the players, they want to learn, they want to improve. We've got a nice little tight team. Everybody's played a part, and that's all you can ask for, and keep it simple. We don't complicate things. I keep it simple. And once you keep it simple, the football will come out, and it's not rocket science.
Elsewhere, Mikel Arteta takes charge of his 300th game as Arsenal manager later today, boasting a higher win percentage than any of his predecessors, who chalked up more than 50 matches. But a familiar danger looms in the shape of West Ham United. Arsenal have lost only 4 of their last 42 Premier League home games, but half of those defeats were against West Ham, who on Saturday will try to claim an unlikely victory in North London for a 3rd successive season. West Ham won 1-0 last season and 2-0 in the campaign before that. Odd results considering Arsenal won the corresponding away fixtures 6-0 and 5-2. Those defeats ultimately proved costly to Arsenal's title hopes, and with West Ham having a new manager at the helm in Nuno Espirito Santo at February. In cricket, England secured a 10-wicket triumph over the Proteas women in their opening match of the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup 2025 in Guwahati yesterday. The Proteas were bowled out for 69 after 20.4 overs before England recorded a straightforward chase within 14.1 overs to secure the victory. After losing out at the toss and being sent in to bat, South Africa got off to a shaky start. At the top order fell to Lindsay Smith 3 for 7 and Lauren Bell 1 for 24 in the first 4 overs. Despite a valiant knock from Sinalo Jafta with 22, the Proteas could not recover. Further contributions with the ball from Charlie Dean 2 for 4 alongside Chiva Brandt and Atlasstone wrapped up the innings on 69 all out. Here is SA captain Laura Wolfert.
I wouldn't put it down to the toss. I think they did bowl very well. I think there was a lot of swing around early. I think Lindsay Smith was excellent with the new ball. I think it was just one of those days with the bat where top order failed and middle order failed on the same day. Not the ideal way to start the tournament. But I do think that we have shown some resilience with the bat in the last 18 months, and I'm sure that we will bounce back and come back better in the rest of this competition. I think our prep has been good. I don't think there were too many demons in that pitch. I think it was just one of those days where everyone went out early, and I think that happens in cricket sometimes. I think if you look at the way that they batted, the wicket was all right. It's not a wicket that we were super foreign to. I think we spent a lot of time in these conditions the last couple of months, so definitely wouldn't put it on the wicket. I think we are much better than 69 all out. Just one of those days. I think as a group we just need to put it behind us as quick as we can and move forward, because if we're going to take that into the next game, it's going to be a very long tournament for us. I think Smith was very good with her swing and her drift today, whereas Sandhu in that game sort of got a lot of turn out of the wicket. So very different conditions. I think in that game, the Pakistan game, we probably didn't adapt well to a turning wicket, probably a lot more turning than what we were used to, very out of our comfort zone conditions-wise, whereas today, I would say, was just a total collapse. Just didn't apply ourselves well enough with the bat.
The Proteas women's next assignment will take them to the Holka Cricket Stadium in Indore, where they will face New Zealand on Monday, the 6th of October. Finally, in rugby news, the Sharks have finally registered their first log points of the Vodacom United Rugby Championship this season, grinding out a 17-all draw against the Dragons in torrential conditions in Newport last night. Despite leading 17-14 at halftime, the Durban-based side couldn't close out the match and had to settle for a share of the spoils against a Dragons outfit that came in on an 18-match losing streak dating back to September last year. Coach John Plumtree's men struck first through Marvin Ori, the lock crashing over the line after a dominant opening spell. June Smith is stepping at fly half and Jaden Hendricks returned to his preferred scrum half role, slotted the conversation to cap a promising start. 15:52 Central African time. We take a short break. When we come back, we head into Lusaka, Zambia for Namuchana to unpack today's topic with the pundits under the umbrella of African football.
Annie Kalonji sur Channel Africa.
Comment est-ce que les militants et sympathisants du parti Les Transformateurs ont-ils réagi face à la condamnation de Succès Masra?
La condamnation de Succès Masra ne nous a pas surpris et les militants transformateurs ont été bouleversés et indignés étant donné que le verdict est un verdict lourd, illégal, injuste et donc face à la répression dans laquelle le peuple tchadien est confronté, les militants transformateurs se sont résignés de ne pouvoir pas sortir manifester. Et donc, c'est une situation totalement absurde pour un pays. Et aujourd'hui, nous célébrons le 11 août, fête de l'indépendance. On pensait que le verdict allait être plus ou moins clément, mais le verdict est sévère.
Annie Kalonji, tous les dimanches sur Mix Vibration.
Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
14:53 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play. Do drop us your WhatsApp voice note on the number +27 63 406 9126 on our topic of the day that Namuchana Likezo from Lusaka, Zambia is standing by to announce.
Ugandan Premier League takes a different direction with a new format where 16 teams in the league will play around 15 matches each, then top 8 teams play against each other, while bottom 8 also tackles each other until there is a champion and relegation candidates. We are asking, is this format likely to spread across Africa, and what are the possible advantages and disadvantages of it? I have with me former Football Association of Zambia President Mr. Asimata. Mr. Asimata, thank you so much for having taken time to talk to Channel Africa. Mr. Asimata, the Ugandan Premier League has taken a different direction. As we are talking right now, they have this format in place where 16 teams have been divided into 2 groups. Mr. Asimata, you've heard our question there. Is this format likely to spread across Africa? And what are the possible advantages and disadvantages of it?
The Ugandan Premier League format is a very, very brilliant idea. I can only hope that the rest of Africa can also sit down and review their leagues for many reasons. Now, I'm sure there are reasons why they've done this, but I can tell you about what will happen. Firstly, the first round of their league will be very attractive because every game will matter. All the teams want to be in the top 8. That in itself will raise the standard of their game. That in itself will bring people back to watch. You know, people like to watch, for a want of expression, blood. That's why they watch other sports like wrestling or kickboxing or whatever. They like to see a winner, not draws, 0-0, 1-1. You know, those are not interesting. So everybody will play to win, first of all. Then secondly, in the second round, when the top 8 will play each other, that means only 4 games a week in the top 8 and 4 games in the bottom 8. So winning the league in the top 8 will be a hard affair. Being relegated in the bottom 8 will also be an issue. Both sides of this league will attract supporters, will attract better football. It will attract need for higher refereeing standards because every game becomes a passion. Unlike where you go 15 halfway, 30 finish, and then you start saying the top team is the league leader, and then the bottom 3 or 2 are relegated. They have brought excitement into their game. I remember once upon a time, 25 years ago, I actually raised a similar approach approach to our Zambian league. At that time, the biggest mining conglomerate, ZCCM, stopped sponsoring soccer. And most of our powerhouse, our football teams were on the Copper Belt. I mean, give an example of Nkana. In the club championship at the time, Nkana had reached one final and lost, but they had reached 6 semi-finals with local players. That's how powerful our league was. Power Dynamos won the other cup in the African fight with local players. Mfra Wanderers had been there a number of times. So you could see that the quality of the game was basically on the Copper Belt. Now, the sponsorship was lost. I went to the Football Association Council and I said to them, let us split the league by half. 8 teams in the north, 8 teams in the Midlands. Let those 8 teams play against each other. At the end of the 7th game, we do a league standing. The top 4 in the north and the top 4 in the south play off to win the league. The cost would be only 4 times would Midlands teams travel to the Copper Belt. Only 4 times would be Copper Belt teams travel to the south, either at the top or bottom. It was rejected. But of course, now you see the results. Most of those big clubs on the Copper Belt that were flying our flag all over Africa, the story can't be told the same. I remember once upon a time, our great Kalu Shabwalia, playing in Mexico. They had a different format there too. They would play the 17 games, or was it 18, up to the halfway point, and whoever won the halfway point became winter champions, and that attracted money. Then they would break and come back now for the second part of the league. And at the end of the season, whoever won that run became the summer champion. If these two, winter and summer, were not the same team, they played off in the biggest stadium in Mexico. Money started flowing in. Crowds were coming back. We have to be innovative. Innovation does not mean you create is new. No, you take the existing thing, telephone, landline, and you turn it into a cell phone. And today we are told there will soon be one where there will be no SIM card. It will be satellite link. That is what we need to start doing in Africa, and not get caught up with tradition. Oh no, let's look at England, let's look at Brazil. No. Find something for our local that meets our local needs, particularly a country like Zambia, 6 times the size of Malawi. Rwanda only goes into our Copper Belt province, just the Copper Belt province. They can afford to have teams within every town. But here in Zambia, if you take the capital as the center, if you go west, the provincial center is 600 kilometers away. If you go east, the provincial center is 600 kilometers away. If you go south, Choma now is in the middle, it's 300, but Livingstone is about 500. If you go north to Tanzania, the last city there is 1,000 kilometers. Now imagine a team in Nakonde coming to Lusaka and then going to Solwezi. We have to sit down and think about an innovative way we can still have football in all these far-flanked towns and yet still attract quality, and yet still attract money, sponsorships, and yet still attract all the good thing about football. To sit back and simply say it's a league, take it or leave it. Well, hats off to Uganda for thinking outside the box, and I hope the rest of Africa will follow suit.
Mr. Smatta, thank you so much for having taken time to talk to Channel Africa. The views of Mr. Smatta, former Football Association of Zambia president and football administrator. I also have with me Wezi Mazonda. Wezi, we are looking at the news that is coming from Uganda, that the Ugandan Premier League has taken a different direction in terms of football format, where 16 teams in the league will play around 15 matches each. Then top 8 teams play against each other, while bottom 8 also, they'll tackle each other until they will have a champion and relegation candidates. We're asking Wezi, is this format likely to spread across Africa, and what are possible advantages and disadvantages of it?
Well, advantages could be that it's a shorter league. If you don't have money, it's a shorter league that's going to enable you to finish playing much earlier, since teams are only 15, so you have very few games to play. So it will be cost effective. You'll be able to plan nicely and ensure that you complete your league games in good time, which is a greater challenge in most games. But the disadvantage I feel would be there'll be few games. I think it's fewer games games. Most leagues have 18 teams, which I feel is standard. At least you have enough competition playing there and playing amongst yourselves. Then when the teams play amongst themselves, pick the winner from there, as opposed to the teams. I think it's a longer route because there are more teams, and then if you have to look at it in the format that Uganda is using, playing each other, the lower half of the teams and the top teams playing together, depending on how much money you have, it could just turn out expensive for others. But football is football. It depends. If the tactical team discuss over the matter and see that it's a good format, well and good, they can pick it and it will help improve their football and try it out. For Africa, obviously they have to look at the different areas, state of their pitches, state of infrastructure in the country, and of course how much financing the clubs have from the lower teams that are going to come into the super division teams, and how much money is being made by the teams that are already in the premier divisions. How much sponsorship you have also is going to help to cushion these clubs to make it easy to play. So I'm sure for Uganda to have this stance, it will make league competitive, yes, but to spread it out to other countries, it will depend if it's workable or if it's not workable.
Wezi, thank you so much for having taken time to talk to Channel Africa.
Thank you very much.
The views of Wezi Mazunda on our topic today. We were looking at the Ugandan Premier League that has taken a different direction with a new format where 16 teams in the league will play around 15 matches each, then top 8 teams play against each other, while bottom 8 also tackles each other until there is a champion and relegation candidates. We were asking, is this format likely to spread across Africa, and what are the possible advantages and disadvantages of it? We had Mr. Simata, former Football Association of Zambia president and sports analyst Wezi Mazunda for Channel Africa Sports. Namchana from Zambia.
15:03 Central African Time. That's how we wrap up the first hour of Africa at Play, where we got to speak to Ezekiel Sello-Seppeng, the legendary athlete from South Africa, 1996 silver medalist in Atlanta at the Olympics, a man with too many accolades in the world of athletics, who is currently part of Athletics South Africa and plowing back to the young talent across South Africa, as we were talking about the state of athletics on the African continent. We also got to speak to the new age Madiba, a nation builder, Onke Sejwayi, who is working for 27 days representing Madiba's time spent in jail, and he's doing all this to raise funds for a sustainable eco-lab to be built in rural areas in the Eastern Cape. In his current work, he is on day 21 and will be concluding on day 27, and he's left with 1,037 kilometers. And we also got to update you on the latest in the world of sports through the sports news. And of course, good music from the African continent. We've officially entered the second hour out of 3 hours of Africa at Play, as we now welcome to Africa at Play our teenager in sport who is an athlete, Katleho Lekako, a grade 11 learner at Mel International School who excelled at inter-school athletics meetings in the past, while at Revival City College he took first place in all these races at the ACNW Open League at MacArthur Stadium, Potchefstroom, South Africa's Northwest Province on the 7th of June 2025. Means he was running in the 100 meters, and we're looking forward to that exciting conversation.
What are the teenagers up to if they are not in class? Let's get in touch with the teenager in sport.
15:04 Central African Time, as we welcome Katleho Lekako to Africa at Play. Katleho, good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing today?
No, I'm doing good, especially now that I can hear your voice. It's an exciting journey that you've had under the world of athletics. When did you start participating in athletics?
Oh, athletics. I started participating in athletics grade 8. Yes, sir. In grade 8.
Grade 8, 9, 10, 11, you are on your 4th year as an athlete and you are already doing wonders. Talk to us about your journey to date. What are some of the highlights of your athletics career, although you're still at high school?
Yes, my athletics career started in grade 8 at Revival City College. It's under Coach Trevor Sondre. He's the one that trained me when I was in Revival City College. It all started there. That's when I realized my talent for athletics. And as time went by, I recognized Sean Msengwane he's also under Wizard Scholarship. Yes, I got invited to interview at Stanton. And then from Stanton, they introduced me to a high-performance center to go train with Coach Herman and Herman Fensky. Yes, and I got an opportunity to train with him for like 5 months. And within a stage of 5 months, he moved me from a 11-1 to 10-5.
It is very interesting indeed, Katleho. And what's your target in a future athletics event?
My target is to be a South African Olympic runner and, you know, break more records and, you know, and be big in the athletics career.
Do you think it's too late for you to do that for the upcoming Olympics in Los Angeles 2028?
No, it's not too late. I think I stand a chance. I stand a chance to it.
And what are you going to do different on the track to make certain that your dream of being an Olympian representing your country, South Africa, becomes a dream come true?
I'll show them that age doesn't matter. It's all about hard work, and you can be able to do it.
You are now running under worldwide scholarships at WWS. How did you get to join WWS?
Oh, I got to join WWS through Coach Herman, through Coach Herman Fensky. Yes.
And what kind of a coach is Coach Herman?
Coach Herman is a very, very, very humble, hardworking coach. You know, he's very, 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 very serious when it comes to athletics and making us sure that we do the right stuff and are very focused.
And Katleho, you'll agree with me that for any athlete, it doesn't have to be just athletics, but it could be a different sporting coach. For an athlete to excel and make it to their dream targets being, it could be being part of Olympics, it could be playing for Real Madrid if you're a footballer, playing for Kaizer Chiefs or any team that one would like to play for. It could be playing for the Proteas, it could be playing for the Springboks when it's a rugby. You need that parental support, but also support from different stakeholders. Where are you getting support from?
Oh, my support at the moment, I get the support from my parents the most. I really want to thank them the most. They give me all the support, whatever stuff I need for my athletics, they make sure that I get, and also get support from Coach T, Pastor T, who also like made me start the journey of athletics also.
You are currently in grade 11, your favorite subject, and how's it looking heading to grade 12?
Yes, I'm currently in grade 11 at Mel International School, and my favorite subjects at the moment are math, life science, and CAT, computer application technology.
Are you fully active at Mel International School as an athlete?
Yes, I'm fully active at Mel International School.
And as you head into matric with the kind of times that you are posting, there's going to be attention from tertiary institutions, different varsities, different colleges knocking on your door, although you are registered under WWS. If that happens, which institution are you impressed with that you would like to go and run for?
I would like to consider Arizona, where Karabo Litevele, who also inspires me, who went there and was also my training partner when I was training with Coach, while I'm still training with Coach Herman Fensky.
Karabo is also doing well, like you've rightfully said. He inspires you, and you've shared some training sessions together. What kind of an athlete is he?
Karabo is a very humble, very kind athlete, you know, and in the space of training with him for 5 months, he's really helped me a lot with a lot of training stuff, and I've actually copied his style of running, and actually helping and benefiting me to get even more quicker.
15:10 Central African time. If you have just joined us, we are talking to our teenager in sport, an athlete who's doing wonders on the track, Katleho Lekako, a 16-year-old who is currently in grade 11. Katleho, please do stay on the line. We take a short break and we'll wrap up our conversation on all things athletics journey for Katleho Lekako, our teenager in sport. Africa at Play, as Telelisia Shai.
Parlez-vous couramment le français? Êtes-vous passionné par la radio? Et êtes-vous qualifié pour travailler en Afrique du Sud? Envoyez-nous votre CV et vos 3 minutes démo en MP3 à @channelafrica.co.za pour avoir une chance de rejoindre la famille Channel Africa. Si vous n'avez pas de réponse après 14 jours, cela signifie que vous n'avez pas été retenu. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Exclusive to Africa at Play on Channel Africa. Teenagers in Sports with Neto, N-E-T-O Chamane.
15:11 Central African Time. We still have our sensational teenager in sport, Katleho Lekako, a grade 11 learner at Male International School who excelled at inter-school athletics meetings in the past, while at Revival City College he took first place in all the races. Katleho, how do you feel knowing that at Revival City College you were the athlete of the moment?
It felt very amazing at that moment because, I got the support, I got the prayers from everyone. It was really amazing.
And talking about amazing, you've got big plans to be an Olympian representing not just South Africa, but the African continent. There's Los Angeles 2028 coming up. There's Brisbane 2032 coming up. And I'm certain you would target both of these Olympic events to participate in, but not just to add numbers, but to achieve those podium finishes. You've had an opportunity to practice and train at a high performance center. Talk to us about your experience at the high performance center. What did it help you with as an athlete to take your performance to another level?
At the high performance center, I've realized that our bodies are different and they adapt to certain different things in training. So like with Coach Herman Fensky, he could show me that, okay, your body type is this type of body, so you have to do this kind of gym so you get stronger this way and you can excel. And it also showed me that there's certain ways of running and certain styles we adapt to. Like as I also adapted to the style of Karabo Literele, it also benefits me and inspires me a lot. Yes.
Do you eat as you please or do you follow a specific diet?
Pardon?
Do you eat as you please or do you follow a specific diet program?
I do follow a specific diet program. I don't just eat anything, I do follow a specific diet program.
And what does it entail? What is it that you need to consider eating so that it adds fuel on fire in terms of completing you as a top athlete?
I avoid too much carbohydrates like pop-up and stuff, and I consume more protein, red meat, and eating more like eggs and everything. Yes.
We are concluding a conversation with Katleho Lekako, a grade 11 learner at Mel International School and currently on grade 11, a 16-year-old with big plans to participate at Olympics as an Olympian representing South Africa and the African continent. Katleho, before we say goodbye, what would you like to say to your team that gives you the necessary support, but also potential athletes out there that you enjoy sharing the track with?
All I would like to say to everyone out there listening to me is that hard work is greater than talent, guys. Keep pushing, never give up. It will definitely come for you one day.
When is your next athletics meeting?
My next athletics meeting might be on the 25th of October at Sasolburg ABP.
And knowing that everyone is eyeing that top spot, which you are also eyeing, what are you going to do different to make certain that at the end of it all, Katleho Lekako comes out a victor?
I'm going to show them that hard work is greater than talent. I'm going to show them the real capable.
Katleho Lekako, thank you so much for talking to us on Africa at Play. All the best moving forward.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Before I let you go, Katleho, you spoke about the importance of your parents and how much you love them for the work that they do, helping you to be the athlete that you are. In an event that they are listening to this conversation, what would you like to say to them?
I would really like to say I'm really grateful for them and all the support they've given me, and I really love them a lot.
And when last did you speak to your father?
Right now.
Oh, right now. Exciting indeed. What kind of a father is he?
He's a very, very, very great father to me. He's very supportive. Also my mother is very supportive.
And how do you address your father when you are calling his name? Do you call him by his name? Do you call him Daddy? How do you address him?
I call him Daddy.
You call him Daddy?
Yes.
Daddy, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Hey, good afternoon, and welcome also.
Thank you so much for joining us. Katleho speaks highly of you. What kind of an athlete is he?
No, good afternoon to all listeners in general. My son is very, very humble person and very hardworking. That energy, the young ones, when they grow, they've got this hyperactive energy. At some stage, I make him aware of this energy. It must not be enough in the house, wherever you just up and down. It is important to utilize it in a certain way that will give you some better, greener pastures, wherever it's part of running, so that it can go arise above the all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lekako, for talking to us on Africa at Play. Have a good afternoon further and all the best to Katleho Lekako.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, sir. God bless.
Katleho, as we say goodbye, how do you feel hearing your father's voice all of a sudden?
I feel very great. I feel very great hearing his voice. I'm very, very, very happy.
Thank you so much for joining us on Africa at Play. All the best to moving forward. I know you're a winner. Do what you've got to do and to bring those podium finishes South African way.
Definitely, I'll do that. Thank you, sir.
15:17 Central African Time. That's how we wrap up our conversation with our teenager in sport, a grade 11 learner at Mel International School. And he's also 16 years old. And his big plan is to be an Olympian representing his country, South Africa.
What are the teenagers up to if they are not in class? Let's get in touch with the teenager in sport. Ahoy, matey!
Captain here to help, right, boys?
Set sail with us on a digital voyage like no other. Channel Africa has a treasure trove of awesomeness. That is our website and social media pages.
Tell me, why are you here?
We want you to be part of our adventure.
The winds are changing, Captain. And this time...
Imagine a world where curiosity knows no bounds, where entertainment meets enlightenment, and where every click leads to the African perspective. Visit us on our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, or follow us on Instagram or on X at Channel Africa One. Go on, like us on Facebook at Channel Africa One. So, spread the word. Tell a friend that Channel Africa's online variety is what they need on the web. Channel Africa, the African perspective. No fairy tales, just the facts and the music you love on Channel Africa.
Fight
dusk till dawn. Channel Africa Radio is your soundtrack to life.
Holy fire, holy water, holy money, only money, only money, only money. We are woody fire, woody thunder, only money, only money, only money. Let the mare bless you with body, oh baby. Oh. Star boy go bless you with money, oh my girl. Let the mare bless you with body, oh baby. Oh, star boy go bless you with money, oh my girl. Yeah, when sucker, 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 baby. Sucker, 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 sucker. Oh, yeah, give me lock up. Lock, yo, I give him, baby. Sucker.
Oh, when I come through, they know we survive, so they turn up all eyes on me now. So many things we fit to do with your magic for that, baby. Stop getting plenty money. Yeah, you know what you gotta do. Baby, she love for me, show me how to do. No doubt I'm the one for you. I'm the one for the TV every time you do. Your body like Orodo. I'm a yak my type of polo show. Yeah. Sucker, baby. Sucker. Oh, yeah, give me lock. Oh, yeah, give me, baby. Sucker.
Body, girl, you confuse my thinking with your body, girl, it's for you that I'm singing with your body, girl, can't chop on my money, with your back on me, can't chop on my money. You make a man want smoke cannabis,
sucker.
How my brain done reset,
sucker.
All I see now your way,
sucker.
Girl, come on, you make me dance, sucker. I like the way your body sample from you,
sucker.
Baby, come take a dip from you,
sucker.
Make your body move from me,
sucker.
Baby, come take bank up from you,
sucker. Sucker, baby. Sucker. Oh, yeah, give me lock. Oh, yeah, give me, baby. Sucker. Step in the place, the party's scatter. Make them surrender. Whether they give them what they need, yeah. Another hit, another one. Nicki Minaj, she start to dance. Girl, I love the things you do, yeah. So baby, dance and dance to kusu, yeah. When you do that dirty wine, yeah. We are your baby, we are your body, yeah. Sucker. We are your baby, we are go crazy, we are your body, yeah. Sucker. Want to spend money, maybe spend money, yeah. Sucker. We are your baby, we are go crazy, we are your body, yeah. Sucker, baby. Sucker. Oh, yeah, give me lock. Oh, yeah, give me, baby. Sucker. Let the mare bless you with body, oh, baby. Star boy go bless you with money, oh, my girl.
15:25 Central African Time. It is a song by Starboy saying soccer. And before that, we played you December by Gaiki. It's October, but hey, we're hearing a song titled December, and that tells you just how much rapidly time flies. In no time, we will be celebrating the last month of the year, December. It is match day 7 in the Zambian Super League, where yesterday we got to witness Zanaco up against Green Buffaloes playing to a 1-1 draw. Cabo Warriors is up against Konkola Blades. Nkana takes on Mutondo Stars, while Muza is up against Power Dynamos. Nkazi versus Green Eagles. Prison Leopards are taking on Mfulira Wanderers, and that match is happening tomorrow at 1300 Central African Time. At 3 p.m. Central African Time tomorrow is Kansashi Dynamos up against Red Arrows. Njanga Rangers battle it out with Namsa Stars at 3 p.m. Central African Time tomorrow. Another match taking place at the same time is Zesco United up against Mainz United. This is exciting action of football happening in Zambia in Southern Africa. Talking about Zambia, let's now welcome to Africa at Play Namuchana Likezo, our correspondent based in Lusaka. So Namuchana, good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon, Neto, and good afternoon to all our listeners on the African continent.
15:26 Central African time. We've got our correspondent Namuchana from Lusaka, Zambia. So Namuchana, you got to speak to the pundits about our topic of the day. Good insight from Simata, former first president, talking about 25 years ago, suggesting a similar format when it comes to the league in Zambia. Your thoughts on the Ugandan Premier League format of having 15 matches between 16 teams playing one round of the league matches, and then subsequent to that, looking at the point system and dividing the 16 teams into two groups, the top 8 and the bottom 8, where the bottom 8 will play amongst themselves, so while the top 8 also does the same thing until we get to the winner, who will be the champions of the league, but also the candidates from the relegation zone. Is this a format that is likely to go across the African continent, spread out to the entire continent? And what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of this new format?
Yeah, Neto, I think this is the way to go. When you critically analyze the African setup, the way life is on the African continent, life has become a difficult business. It's difficult. I'll give you an example of the Zambian League. We have got teams that are based in the northern part of Zambia and on the copper belts, and some they are based in the southern part of Zambia, that is the Midlands and Lusaka. So you are talking of certain teams, or those teams from the Midlands and Lusaka traveling to the copper belt 7, 8, 9 times to go and play the likes of Nkana Football Club, Powerful Power Dynamos, Mfurira Wanderers, Konkola Blaze, and Changa Rangers. They are all based on the copper belt. So how much does a team need in order to make those travels? You are aware, Neto, that running a football club on the African continent, it is not an easy task. It is a huge task that requires a lot of resources. So the format that the Ugandan Football Federation have embarked on, I think it's supposed to be replicated around the African continent if we were to cut down on the costs. I'll tell you that in the Zambian Division 1, we have got teams that are on the western part of this country, which is 600 kilometers. They will have to travel from the western part of Zambia, travel to go and play in a place called Nakonde, which is 1,000 kilometers away from Lusaka. So you are talking about a team that is going to cover 1,600 kilometers just going, and another 1,600 kilometers return journey. It's not an easy task, and away from the resources, even the players themselves. What are you doing for their health? So it is a good way of doing things. I'm sure the people at the Ugandan Federation, they thought of the cost implications, they thought of fatigue, and they put into consideration a lot of things. So this is the only way we are going to cut the costs, because whether we like it or not, Neto, running football on the African continent, it is not something that is small. It is big. It requires huge investments. It requires money. And how many companies are doing well economically? A lot of companies on the African continent are limping due to economical challenges. So we should come up, we should devise new ways of dividing the league. How I wish we are going to see the same with the Football Association of Zambia, FAS. Let them at some point just divide the country into two. Let those who are in the north, the likes of Power Dynamos, Nkana, Mufuria Wanderers, Nchanga Rangers, Onkola Mining, a football club, let them just play the league there. And the teams that are in the Midlands, that is Magnificent Cabo Warriors coming down through to Saka, they should also have their mini league. I think that way we are going to cut on the course. And this is the way to go, Neto. There is no another way, and surely a kudos should go to whoever came up with this idea in Uganda. This is what we're supposed to copy. Let the entire Africa embark or emulate what Uganda has done, because very few football associations are helping football clubs with finances, or in short, to ease their burdens. So the burden of paying players, the travels, allowances, and that kind of stuff, entirely it is on the sponsors of a football club. So this is a good idea, Neto, that all of us should embrace.
15:32 Central African Time. That's the voice of Namuchana Likezo, our correspondent based in Lusaka, Zambia, as we are talking about our topic of the day, looking at the new format proposed by the Ugandan Premier League, where 16 teams will be divided into two after playing the official first round, where all teams will play a total of 15 matches, and subsequent to that, the 16 teams gets divided into top 8 and bottom 8, and the bottom will produce the candidate for relegation, while the top produces a champion. Interesting times indeed. So Namuchana, we've got some voice notes on this exact topic. Let's take one from Eric Lichweleng, and we'll get Namuchana to react.
Good afternoon, Africa at Play. I'm Eric Lichweleng from Midrand. I like the idea of the Ugandan League Federation, but I can share my views regarding that and says it's possible if you look at it, but some leagues might consider adapting similar structures to add more excitement and competitiveness to their tournaments. But I want us to break it to look at the possible advantage and disadvantage of this format. Let's start with the advantages. Increased competitiveness. The top 8 teams play each other, ensuring more high-stakes matches among the best teams. More matches for top teams. The top 8 play against each other, potentially increasing the number of meaningful matches. Relegation drama. The bottom 8 teams play each other, heightening the stakes for teams fighting to avoid relegation. So if you look at the disadvantages, Mr. Neto and the team, complicity, the format might be confusing for some fans, especially if they are used to traditional round-robin format. Fixtures congestion, with the top and bottom teams playing additional matches. There's potential for fixture congestion and players fatigue. Less match for some teams. Teams in the bottom 8 might have less competitive matches against stronger opponents in the second phase. Overall, this format could bring more excitement to the Uganda Premier League, but its adoption across Africa will depend on how well it works in Uganda and how other leagues adapt to change in their own structure. Nice show. Lekamoso rights.
Monna wa Motswana, Eric Lichweleng, sharing his thoughts with us on Africa at Play, a football commentator for one of our sister radio stations, Motsweding FM, doing commentary in Setswana, one of the official 11 languages spoken in South Africa. Your reaction, Namuchana?
Yeah, I think Eric is right there. One of the advantages is competitiveness. Can you imagine that all of you, all the 16 teams, they'll play 15 matches each. So each and every team will try its level best to make sure that they remain in the top 8. So you are talking about watching good football. You are talking about teams trying to outdo each other. So each and every team will fight tooth and nail to make sure that they remain in the top 8, and those who drop in the bottom 8 will also fight extremely hard so that they avoid the issues of relegation. Otherwise, it has got more of advantages than disadvantages. This format, it is a good format. It brings out the best. It brings out that competitiveness. It brings out good football, quality football. Otherwise, personally, I have no problems with it. And I think Eric is right there when he says you are going to watch a lot of competitive matches. I don't agree with him when he says it has disadvantages in fixture conditions. How? Because all of you have been given the same opportunity to play the first 15 matches. Then you are divided into two groups, in 8 each. So you would have been given a fair opportunity. So I don't see how that brings a fixture condition matter.
15:37 Central African Time, and Namuchana, our correspondent from Lusaka, Zambia, as we go through the topic of the day, including the voice notes that our listeners have sent our way. Mr. Namuchana is also a Buccaneer fan, and talking about the Buccaneers, they are in action up against Siwelele FC. That is Bloemfontein Celtic as it returns with the name Siwelele FC. 37 minutes of football has been played. Let's take you to the live action.
Mix Vibration sur Channel Africa.
Qu'est-ce qui vous a amené à dire ça? Est-ce que vous avez observé un certain nombre d'événements dans la vie? Est-ce que c'était par rapport à une expérience? Est-ce que vous avez rencontré des choses qui vous ont dit il faut de la patience, comme ça les choses vont venir au bon moment et le bon Dieu pourra peut-être me visiter?
Oui, c'était justement un conseil que le Seigneur m'avait inspiré pour donner à son peuple, parce qu'il y a la plupart des gens, pendant que Dieu bénit les autres, ils pensent que Dieu les a oubliés, et pendant que Dieu ouvre pour les autres, ils pensent que peut-être Dieu n'a pas pu écouter leurs prières. Alors, ce n'est pas le cas. Alors, Dieu bénit tout un chacun de nous avec son temps. Donc, le temps de Dieu est toujours le meilleur dans la vie de tout un chacun de nous.
Mix Vibration, tous les dimanches, de 18h à 19h, temps universel.
So far, so good for Siwelele. Would love to come up with the all-important first goal here, but defensively, haven't had too much to worry about here. Following the early stages of this match here, where the penalty was given away, and it looked as though Pirates would cause all sorts of problems, but they've been able to steady the ship somewhat on the defensive end. Lemtajela. Apollos had to work hard to keep it alive. Malcolman doing a good job in the middle of the park and bringing it back. Now they got along with Siema, getting there ahead of Nurkovic. Taylor.
15:40 Central African Time is still 0-0 between the Buccaneers, also known as the Sirobas, up against Siwelele FC, as we see Siwelele making an effort there with a shot at goal, but it went wide. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll bring back Namuchana.
AUSISA, the Association of Water and Sanitation Institution of South Africa, is a platform uniting Africa's water professionals. This November, Africa leads the conversation on water and sanitation. Join global and African leaders at the AUSISA Africa and Global South Dialogue 2025 from the 9th till the 12th of November at the Emperor's Palace, Johannesburg. From policy innovation, this is where action meets collaboration for a water-secure future. Register today at ausisa-watersan-dialogue.org or follow at AUSISA on social media. AUSISA, working together for sustainable water and sanitation security in Africa. Channel Africa, your voice, your sound, and your home. Stay logged right here. Africa at Play with Neto and ETO Chemane.
15:41 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play. We are live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time on DSTV Audio Bouquet Channel 802 or OpenView 628 if you are in South Africa. Alternatively, you can connect with us online from any corner of the world on channelafrica.co.za. Also available on SABC Plus. We still have Namuchana on the line. Let's take a voice note from Apiwe Ngwenya.
Hi, Africa Play. This is Apiwe Ngwenya. I think the Ugandan format could be interesting. It's definitely a first. I've never seen it done anywhere else around the world. I think it'll take maybe a couple of seasons to probably catch on, maybe in other African countries or even other leagues around the world. I mean, if you actually think about it, some teams, you never know, they might have a bad start to the season and they might bounce back towards the tail end of the season, but now if they're already stuck in the bottom half, then they're just fighting for survival in that league. But it could help to actually strengthen the league, because now everyone would want to fight to always be in the top 8. So I think it might be an interesting format and might even strengthen the league and the competition itself.
So, Namuchana, your reflection?
Yeah, I think Apiwe, she is right. That format, like I've already alluded to Neto, it will bring competitiveness. Each and every team, they'll love to give out their best. They'll love to come out and play. They'll give out their best players. Their players will know we are fighting to be in top 8. And once we are in top 8, the chances of us finishing in top 4 and subsequently being crowned the champions of Uganda are so high. And we only hope that the entire Africa, after a few seasons from now, they will copy that format. It is a good format that should be encouraged. Like I said, Neto, it is cost effective. It doesn't put a lot of pressure on travels. You can imagine if we have a team in Cape Town and they are not traveling as far as Johannesburg for them to go and fulfill fixtures. So if for example, a team was spending per week, if they were spending about 200,000 rands to fulfill a fixture, and you embark on such a league, so you could have cut the cost into half. So this is something that the rest of Africa should study, and probably at the end of the day, let the principles of the game, those who are interested in it, let them go to Uganda, try to go and learn from them, and just exchange notes. Otherwise, this is something good. And above all, it will encourage a lot of competition in the league. As all the teams, number one, they would fight to be in top 8, a top 4, and later on be crowned champions. Whilst those in bottom 8 will really fight tooth and nail. They would want to avoid a relegation battle. So it is a format that encourages the competition. It brings out the best, and above all, I think it lessens even player fatigue in my own view. So otherwise, this is something that we hope going forward. Everybody on the African continent will just embrace and try to implement. Otherwise, this is the way to go. Like Mr. Smata was saying that he had proposed this some 25 years ago, but his ideas were shot down by other people at the Football Association of Zambia offices. They said it can't work. And that was 25 years ago. And here we are, it is working in Uganda. And imagine had Zambia become the first country to do so, would have been the pioneers in this thing. But today, if we were to embark on the same, we would have copied it from Uganda. But we had somebody in the name of Mr. Smata, former Football Association of Zambia president, who suggested this idea 25 years ago, and somebody in Uganda has thought in the same lines, and in no time they're going to implement it. These are the ideas that we have. Football is evolving, Neto. We can't have football that is so stagnant. We are living in a global world. We are living in a world where everything is fast. So you cannot be stuck in the past. You need to make sure that you come out with new ideas. You are aware that even in football, way back we used to have only one system of playing football, and that was the 4-4-2 or 3-5-2. But now we have a lot of systems, meaning football evolves, and if you cannot evolve in football, you remain behind net.
15:47 Central African Time. We are wrapping up a conversation with our Zambia-based correspondent, Namuchana Namuchana. So, Namuchana, latest in Zambian sport before I let you go?
Yeah, Neto, we are just waiting to see how Zambia will play against Tanzania and Niger in those two games. I would say dead rubber games, because they have no effect on the qualifiers. Zambia has been bombed out of the 2026 World Cup qualifier matches. Even if they were to beat Tanzania and Niger, they'll be of no use to the country. But the Zambia national soccer team coach, Avram Grant, said he's going to use these two matches to prepare for AFCON. You are aware that Zambia is one of the countries that has qualified for the AFCON 2025 to be hosted by Morocco in December. So Avram Grant was very quick. Even today, he addressed the press where he said, look, we are aware that we are no longer in the race to qualify to the 2026 World Cup. But these games will give us that opportunity. These are the games that will help us to see where we are still lacking as we prepare to go to Morocco, because he believes Zambia can go and do wonders in Morocco if they were to put their house in order. So otherwise, this is what we have here. And he has summoned the 26 players to the squad, and he says out of those 26, he's going to trim the team to 18 players only, and those are the players that will face Tanzania and Niger. We only hope that his words will come true. There was a lot of people that are not convinced with his tactics, and he has to redeem himself when Zambia goes to AFCON in December in Morocco. If he is going to win the AFCON, then maybe the trust that he has lost among his Zambian fans might just come back.
15:50 Central African Time. That's how we wrap up our conversation with Namuchana, our correspondent based in Lusaka, Zambia. So Namuchana, thank you so much for your contribution on Africa at Play. Have an awesome afternoon further.
Yeah, thank you so much, Neto, and thank you for having me. And what a relief. And everybody is super excited. And that powerful Power Dynamos, the country that is representing Zambia in the CAF Champions League, managed to go and beat Asante Kotoko away in Ghana, and now they've been pegged with the Vipers of Uganda. So we see how they are going to take on the Vipers from Uganda in the next round.
15:51 Central African Time. We take a short break. When we come back, we'll play back those voice notes that we still have coming up. Will be Adi Makado.
Mix Vibration sur Channel Africa.
Qu'est-ce qui vous a amené à dire ça? Est-ce que vous avez observé un certain nombre d'événements dans la vie? Est-ce que c'était par rapport à une expérience? Est-ce que vous avez rencontré des choses qui vous ont dit il faut de la patience, comme ça les choses vont venir au bon moment et les bons dieux pourra peut-être me visiter?
Oui, c'était justement un conseil que le Seigneur m'a fait inspirer pour donner à son peuple, parce qu'il y a la plupart des gens, pendant que Dieu bénit les autres, ils pensent que Dieu les a oubliés, et pendant que Dieu ouvre pour les autres, ils pensent que peut-être Dieu n'a pas pu écouter leurs prières. Alors, ce n'est pas le cas. Alors, Dieu bénit tout un chacun de nous avec son temps. Donc, le temps de Dieu est toujours le meilleur dans la vie de tout un chacun de nous.
Mix Vibration, tous les dimanches de 18h à 19h, temps universel.
Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
The Kali knockout action in South African football is currently underway. Yesterday, Durban City beat Polokwane City by 4 goals to 1. Orlando Pirates is up against Siwelele FC, and the match is on a halftime break at 0-0. Orbit College also on halftime against TS Galaxy. That match is still 0-0. Golden Arrows will take on Sekhukhune United at 1800 Central African Time. Meanwhile, Mamelodi Sundowns Kabuyelo takes on Bahlabani Bantu Marumo Gallants at 8 p.m. Central African Time. Action continues tomorrow between Stelis up against Amakosi at 3 p.m. Central African Time. Also at the same time will be the Natal Rich Boys, Richards Bay taking on Chippa United, the Chili Boys, and Amazulu Usutu up against Makesi at 1800 Central African Time. Adi Makado's voice note. Let's find out what are his thoughts on our topic of the day.
Good day, Hosi. I think this is really quite an interesting journey that the Ugandan Premier League has embarked, because when I look at this thing, it can have some few advantages and it can also have some few advantages. So maybe before I can even go to whether it will work or it will not work, let me just speak slightly about two or so advantages and disadvantages. So I think this can be beneficial in terms of having less dead rubber games, because in traditional formats, you find that the mid-table clubs, without nothing, let's say in a South African context, for an example, a team that is between number 9 and maybe number 14, they don't really have much to play for. So you find that, and they often lose intensity. So here we will find that all second round matches will then matter for them as they embark on this journey. And you'll also find that maybe it could sort of like bring more commercial appeal, because more high profile matches, or rather big clubs that are facing each other twice or more, that will then equate them to better broadcast packages, sponsorship and fan engagement. Smaller African leagues may adopt it.
15:54 Central African Time. Those are the thoughts of Adi Makado. We still have a voice note from Nande Jobadwana.
Good morning on this cold and windy Saturday morning. My name is Nande Jobadwana. Hello to the viewers and hello to the presenters. Interesting format. And actually, these are the things that football needs. We need innovative formats, because also I think the traditional formats at some point do become a bit stale, a bit predictable. I find this an interesting format, a lot of positives. I think also it will attract a lot of sponsorship. It also begs the question, will it be a short running time? In terms of the period on how long the tournament will take. This format seems though it will be a little bit shorter, or remove certain rules, and then the game is just not the same. You know what I mean? It's not interesting anymore. It's not fun. It's not exciting. It's not action-packed. So we've seen that a lot in rugby. So yeah, let's see with football. Thank you.
Thank you to all those that have shared their thoughts with us on voice notes. A big thank you indeed. 15:55 Central African time. This is Africa at Play. Most matches are on a halftime break. Those that kicked off at 1500. We will update you on different scores a little later. Arsenal in the Premier League is up against West Ham United, and that match is also live on SABC3. We will cross over to London for this London derby between the two London sides. My name is Neto and ETO Chemani. We are together until 5 p.m. Central African time. In the second hour, we got to speak to our teenager in sport, Katleho Lekako, who is a grade 11 learner and currently 16 years. Looking forward to being an Olympian one day representing his country, South Africa. We also spoke to our correspondent, Namuchana from Lusaka, Zambia, on all things Zambian sport, including our topic of the day. And we got to play back those voice notes from our listeners that shared their thoughts.
Africa at Play with Neto and ETO Chemane. Got something to say? Are you passionate about issues that matter? Do you have a voice that deserves to be heard? Well, we've got the perfect platform for you. Call in or drop us a WhatsApp on +27 63 406 9126. And we will call you back so you could have your say and be part of the conversation.
30 years of age. I just turned 30 on the 15th of November. So yeah, that's who I am, you know.
It's not just talk. It's your chance to air your views. Share your opinion. Engage with the community that values your perspective. Follow us on our social media. Visit our website at www.channelafrica.co.za and get ready to share your views on Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa at Play with sports and music from an African perspective.
15:58 Central African time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play. We are saying goodbye to the second hour of Africa at Play as we look forward to the third and final exciting hour of Africa at Play. Let's look at the fixtures in the Premier League that is currently underway. Yesterday, AFC Bournemouth beat Fulham by 3-1, while Leeds went down to Tottenham Hotspur by 2-1 earlier today. Manchester United is still coming up against Sunderland at 4 p.m. Central African time. Arsenal up against West Ham United. That match is still building up on SABC3, and we will cross over to the action a little later on. Chelsea, the Blues will take on You'll Never Walk Alone, Liverpool at 18:30 Central African time. Everton up against Crystal Palace tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central African time. Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest, the Tricky Trees also tomorrow at 3 p.m. While Wolverhampton Wanderers will be looking for victory to step away from the relegation zone. They are taking on Brighton and Hove Albion, and Aston Villa will take on Burnley, while Brentford versus Manchester City tomorrow at 17:30 Central African time. This is Africa at Play as Delil Siashaya head into the third and final hour, and we are going to West Africa to find out what is the latest in Nigerian sport with our correspondent based in Lagos, Tony Todero-Ubani.
The recent FIFA ruling that docked South Africa 3 points for fielding an ineligible player has blown Group C of the 2026 World Cup qualifiers wide open, and with it handed Nigeria Super Eagles a glimmer of hope in their quest to reach the tournament in North America. Yet while the decision may favor Nigeria on the standings, it also serves as a sobering reminder of past mistakes both by the Super Eagles and Nigerian clubs that underscore the grave cost of administrative and technical lapses in player eligibility. Long before the current episode, Nigerian teams have found themselves on the wrong side of similar rulings. In 1984, Shooting Stars Sports Club 3SC reached the final of the Africa Cup of Champions clubs, now the CAF Champions League, only to be rocked by a last-minute eligibility crisis. Just before kickoff of the second leg against Egypt's Zamalek, the Ibadan-based side was informed that the influential left wing back, Felix Owolabi, had accumulated 2 yellow cards and was ineligible to play. The news disorganized the team and shattered morale. Shooting Stars went on to lose 2-0 in Cairo and 3-0 on aggregate, missing what would have been Nigeria's first Continental Club triumph. Fast forward to 2018, another painful lesson. During the Russia 2018 World Cup qualifiers, FIFA ruled that Nigeria had fielded Shehu Abdullahi, who should have been serving a suspension after 2 prior cautions. The match in question, a 1-1 draw against Algeria, was forfeited. FIFA awarded Algeria a 3-0 victory and fined the Nigeria Football Federation. Although the sanction did not affect Nigeria's qualification, as the Super Eagles had already secured their ticket, it exposed administrative negligence that could have been costly. Now, as Nigeria prepare for the final stretch of the 2026 World Cup qualifying series, history offers a warning. 12 Super Eagles players are walking a disciplinary tightrope, all sitting on 1 yellow card. Any second booking will automatically root them out of the final match day fixture against Benin Republic in Uyo. Those on the caution list include Semi Ajayi, who was booked in the match against Lesotho on November 16, 2023. Calvin Bassey, booked against Zimbabwe November 19, 2023. Jamilu Collins, booked against Zimbabwe 19 November 2023. Umar Sadiq, booked against Zimbabwe 19 November 2023. Bright Osai Samuel, booked against South Africa 7 June 2024. Sadiq Ismaila, booked against Benin 10 June 2024. Wilfred Ndidi, booked against Rwanda 21st March 2025. Alex Iwobi, booked against Rwanda 21st March 2025. Tolu Arakodare, booked against Rwanda 21st March 2025. Stanley Nwabale, booked against Rwanda 6 September 2025. Ademola Lukman, booked against South Africa 9 September 2025. And Bruno Yemeki, booked against South Africa 9 September 2025. With the group now delicately poised following South Africa's 3-point deduction, Nigeria cannot afford any further slip-ups either on the field or in the boardroom. The sanction on South Africa has effectively reopened Nigeria's route to qualification. But if the Super Eagles are to seize this opportunity, the technical crew at the Nigeria Football Federation must stay vigilant. Player discipline and accurate record keeping have become as vital as goals scored. In modern football, the fine line between triumph and heartbreak can be drawn by a yellow card or a forgotten suspension. As the Super Eagles regroup for their last 2 qualifiers, the echoes of 1984 and 2018 serve as a timely caution. FIFA's rule book says no one. The match officials for Super Eagles Crunch FIFA World Cup qualifier against Benin on 14th October have been appointed, with the referee Omar Aminu Mohamed set to take charge in Uyo. He will be supported by compatriots Mahmoud Ahmed Kamel, Ahmed Abregar, Ahmed Tawefik Teleb Ali as assistant referees, while Mahmoud Zakaria Mohamed Mustafa El Bani as 4th official. Seychelles Jackson Joseph Damon will serve as referee assessor. Ghana's Prosper Harrison Ado has been named match commissioner, and Zolile Nogutala Vilakati of Eswani will operate as a security officer. It will not be the first time Omar Aminu has overseen a Nigeria versus Benin clash in Uyo. He was also the man in the middle when the Super Eagles beat the Squirrels 3-0 in September last year, a result some may now see as a favorable omen. It requires Nigeria sit third in Group C on 11 points, trailing both Benin and South Africa by 3 points. Only the group winners are guaranteed a place at the 2026 World Cup, with runners-up pushed into a perilous playoff route where just 4 of the 10 second-place teams will survive. FIFA's ruling against South Africa altered the completion of the group, handing Lesotho a 3-0 victory and blocking Bafana Bafana points for fielding the ineligible Tebeo Mokena. The sanction has reignited Nigeria's French hopes, but the path to qualification remains fraught. What Chair squad must do is to win away to Lesotho on 10th October and then overcome Benin in Uyo 4 days later to finish on 17 points. Anything less than qualification is gone. Even with maximum points, the Super Eagles still need one of their rivals to slip up. Very, very delicate indeed. Benin coach Genetro says that his team's path to the 2026 FIFA World Cup remains very difficult, despite being handed top spot in their qualifying group after South Africa were docked 3 points by FIFA. FIFA disciplinary committee ruled that Bafana must forfeit their match 2-0 victory over Lesotho for fielding midfielder Tebo Mokena, who was suspended. The sanction overturned the result to a 3-0 loss, dropped South Africa from first to second in Group C with 14 points, and pushed Benin into the lead on goal difference. Betro, who previously coached Nigeria Super Eagles, insisted his side faced an uphill task. FIFA decided to deduct 3 points, but it will still be very difficult for us because we have to go to Rwanda and to Uyo to finish, Raw said. And South Africa will play twice at home against Zimbabwe and Rwanda. So 7 matches from 10 they played in South Africa. That is a big advantage, and our team had to play since 2 years and half away games only. It's crazy. Raw was referring to certain countries failing to meet the standards to get approval for their stadiums to host World Cup matches. This meant Lesotho and Zimbabwe have played the entirety of their World Cup qualifiers in South Africa, while Benin have been forced to play in Cote d'Ivoire. Janet Ross speaks.
To deduct the 3 points to South Africa is a logical decision, but it's coming very late, very, very late. It's 6 months already that they had to do it. So now we have 2 games to play, very difficult games away in Rwanda and in Uyo against Nigeria. And South Africa can play the 2 last games at home. Again, they made 7 games from 10 in South Africa because they played the games away against Lesotho and Zimbabwe, also in South Africa because they didn't have the stadium. And we in Benin, we could not play 1 single match in Benin since 2 years and a half. You have to play all the games away. In Abidjan, the home games, in Ivory Coast, and to go away for the other games. So it would be a miracle if Benin qualify. But they will try, of course. But we stay humble.
Former Super Eagles defender Sam Soje has clamped down on the reactions of Nigerian football fans following a points deduction from South Africa by FIFA. I applauded FIFA for doing what they have to do. South Africa actually broke the rules and they have taken 3 points off them. I think that's normal. What's surprising now is that Nigerians are seeing this as big news. I think it's embarrassing. The former Brentford star said Nigerians should stop fooling themselves by pressing calculators and saying, if South Africa lose, if Benin lose. The truth is that we don't deserve to go to the World Cup. We can't play such qualifiers and deserve to go to World Cup. South Africa may have lost 3 points, but they still have a greater chance of going to the World Cup more than Nigeria. Our administrators have no foresight and knowledge of the game they are administering. The former Brentford star said Nigeria possesses the caliber of players who should not struggle during the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. The former Reading defender explained that the chances of making it to the 2026 World Cup in the USA, Canada, and Mexico are slim. He said, I think the Super Eagles put themselves in a situation where they have to depend on points taken off South Africa to qualify. If Nigeria think we have a chance, I don't think we do. And if we have any slim chance, hopefully we can earn it on the pitch. With the kind of players at the disposal of Nigeria, the area of stars, we shouldn't be going into the discussion about celebrating 3 points being taken off South Africa. The points deduction has thrown the Group C open with the Cheetahs of Benin Republic topping with 14 points, that's plus 4 goals difference, closely followed by South Africa with same 14 points, now plus 3 goals difference, and the Super Eagles in third position with 11 points. Sam Soje speaks.
All this doesn't matter. We might come and play next game and not win. We cannot keep doing and expect a different result. So that's my point to you. I'm not going to jump into what you're trying to say about calculation, because we don't deserve to be in the World Cup. We cannot play such a qualifiers and expect to be in the World Cup. So I go back to what happened in preparation, and I'm going to speak to that. I'm not going to fast forward to what's happening now, because we've lost the qualification years ago, and changing managers just made it worse.
Also lamenting on the precarious situation of the Super Eagles, former hitman of the Eagles, Benedict Agwebu, said it was a shame to know that Nigerians will be watching over nations. Will be watching the World Cup without the Super Eagles at the 2026 World Cup. Benedict Akwebu speaks.
Talk about. If we want to put ourselves in the map of football, we have to look to the bigger picture. I keep on saying these things all the time. This is affecting you, me, everybody. If we don't do things well, we don't put our house in order, and this is what we get. This is the result that we get. We are losing another way into the World Cup. Nigeria will not watch the World Cup. You will not watch the World Cup. Your children will not watch it. Nigerians will not watch it. Nigerians will. So this is the thing we keep on saying. When things are not right, it affects everybody. Let us talk. We can turn things around for ourselves. If we really want to do it, we can still do it. Nigeria has excellent footballers scattered all over. I don't see a reason why we should not be beating teams 4-5-0 at home. Teams like Rwanda, teams like Suito, or what do they call them? It's a shame, but these are the things we keep on saying. So let's talk, and there's a way forward. We can make things happen.
Former Super Eagles defender Abiodun Obafemi has described FIFA's 3-point deduction against South Africa as a lifeline for Nigeria, but cautioned that it will count for nothing unless the team seizes the moment. The sanction, which has blown Group C wide open, has given Nigeria an unexpected chance to return to contention for a 2026 FIFA World Cup ticket. But Obafemi insists the Eagles are still walking on a razor's edge. This ruling gives us another chance, but it is not in our hands entirely, he said. Nigeria must win their remaining 2 matches. There is no alternative. Anything less, and we are out. Obafemi further stressed that South Africa and Benin remain dangerous contenders. South Africa will even be more determined to prove their strength despite losing points. While Benin are in the mix, we can't sit back and expect miracles. We must fight. The former defender also delivered a same message to the players, reminding them of the significance of this campaign. Some of these players may not get another opportunity to play at a World Cup. They should treat these games like their careers depend on it, because they do. He urged fans to rally behind the team, but maintained that qualification will only come through hard work and discipline. Support from Nigerians is crucial, but the players must give us something to cheer about. 2 wins are non-negotiable. For the Super Eagles, the math is simple. Take 6 points and pray rivals stumble. For Obafemi, however, the deeper issue is urgency. This is the last chance saloon. If we blow it, history will not be kind. Abiodun Obafemi speaks.
So I said we should not celebrate too early, because when you expect our boys to rise to an occasion, they disappoint. Honestly, this is a lifeline. It's a lifeline FIFA has given us when it's flat out goals. We can't afford to falter. We can't afford to flatter any longer. We need to win the remaining 2 matches. And see, we have faith, because the faith is no longer even our hand. We just need to win the 2 matches, the remaining 2 matches, and pray for South Africa and Benin to falter. Honestly, it's unfortunate. This is where we find ourselves. We are helpless. So I just pray the boys see the way Nigerians see. We have the boys. The problem is their inability to raise their game when it is required, honestly. Because I see no reason why how other players will have more desire than our boys. They are big boys. Maybe for God to know that this is a chance in a lifetime for them, because most of them are no longer getting younger. If they miss this World Cup, that might be their last chance.
Another former player of the Super Eagles, Dimeji Lawal, said that celebrating that FIFA has docked 3 points and 3 goals from South Africa cannot take Nigeria to the World Cup. The question we should ask ourselves is, can the Eagles win their own remaining matches? It's dicey. One thing is, to see FIFA remove 3 points from South Africa. Another thing is for us to win our remaining matches. I'm not excited about FIFA removing points from South Africa. I am more concerned on how we can prepare ourselves to win our own matches. Dimeji Lawal speaks.
Get excited about 14 points, because one thing is to get 3 points taken away from South Africa. Another thing is for us to be able to win our remaining games. I know that from time that the FIFA will not bend their rules. At that level, they won't do something that will affect several decisions in the future. They will not like to undermine their own rules. So for sure, when South Africa made that mistake, I know they are going to forfeit that 3 points and 3 goals. But the bottom line is, can we win our last 2 games? That's the question. That is the crucial part of it. I'm not so excited about removing South Africa's points. What I am looking forward to is how we can prepare ourselves in a manner that will win the next 2 games.
Still on the Nigeria 2026 and FIFA brouhaha with South Africa, there was little to cheer for fans of the Super Eagles after FIFA docked 3 points and 3 goals from South Africa as penalty for fielding an ineligible player in the course of their campaign. To most discerning fans, that development did not change the precarious situation with the Super Eagles in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, as the Nigerian team remained third in the group table. The former member of FIFA Council and one-time Director General of National Sports Commission, Dr. Amos Adamu, said Super Eagles were careless in their approach to the World Cup qualifiers. They have not been serious. They have been very careless, he observed, asking, how did they get to this position that we are now using calculators to tell us about our chances? He said Nigeria's qualification is under probability. Nobody is sure anymore. He said that Nigeria had no business struggling in the group that has the likes of the Republic of Benin, Lesotho, Rwanda, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. They should have qualified straight without even thinking of playoffs. It's very sad. On the points deduction from South Africa, the former FIFA Council member retorted, the rules are clear. You flout the rules and you get punished. Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen has become Nigeria's all-time top scorer in the UEFA Champions League after scoring for Turkish side Galatasaray against Liverpool. Osimhen scored from the penalty spot in the 16th minute, taking his tally in the competition to 10 goals. The strike moved him past former Inter Milan and Newcastle United forward Obafemi Martins, who scored 9 goals in the competition. Ademola Lookman, Nwankwo Kanu, Victor Ikpeba, and Yakubu Yemeni all trailed further behind with 5 goals each. Osimhen's journey in the competition began with Lille, where he scored his first Champions League goal against Chelsea on 2nd October 2019. He added more goals during his time at Napoli before reaching double figures with Galatasaray. Beyond the Champions League, Osimhen has enjoyed a stellar career. He became the first African to win the Serie A Golden Boot after scoring 26 league goals for Napoli in the 2022-2023 season. Victor Osimhen speaks.
Psychologically, they need to be very focused throughout the 90 minutes and then try as much as possible to make sure that they don't commit early mistakes like we've done in our previous games where we had a record and conceded early goals. Once they are able to do that and then we'll travel into the game, they will be able to get their confidence and then play. And then we're even able to turn some of them into offensive transitions where we could have even scored out of that. So tactically, we just played their captain out, and that was it. And
before we go, the Golden Eagles of Nigeria, 5-time FIFA Under-17 World Cup champions, have been kicked out of the Wafu B Under-17 Championship after a shameful 0-2 defeat to arch-rivals Ghana's Black Stars in Abidjan, ending yet another qualification dream. This semi-final loss means Nigeria will not play at the 2026 Africa Under-17 Cup of Nations, the only route to the next Under-17 World Cup, condemning the once-feared Golden Eagles to another cycle of failure. For the second consecutive time, Nigeria will be absent from the world stage, despite holding the record as the most successful nation in the tournament's history. The collapse is especially painful given the Eagles' strong group stage form, 4 goals scored, 1 conceded, group leaders with confidence, only to falter when it mattered most. Ghana, who barely scraped through their group with chances, turned up in the semi-final and set Nigeria packing. The humiliation is worsened by history. Nigeria had beaten Ghana 4-2 in the 2022 edition in Cape Coast and again 3-2 in the bronze medal clash in Accra. This time, the Black Starlets flipped the script and buried Nigerian hopes. The Golden Eagles last played at the Under-17 World Cup in 2019, that was hosted in Brazil, where they reached the round of 16 before bowing out. They missed the 2017 and 2023 editions, while the 2021 tournament was cancelled due to the pandemic. Now Nigeria's absence will stretch into 2025 in Qatar, deepening the crisis. From Victor Osimhen's record-breaking 10 goals in 2015 to this generation's inability to even qualify, the decline is glaring. For a country that once ruled youth football, the Golden Eagles have become a shadow of their former selves, and Nigerians have every right to be angry. Nigerian fans are calling on the NFF to relieve Coach Manu Garba from the post after a series of failures with the national team. They keep recycling Manu Garba because he's from the northern part. He has shown over time that he has nothing to offer, one of the Nigerian fans cried. While Nigerian coach Manu Garba was looking for reasons to blame on the defeat, Dr. Prosper Nate Ogum, head coach of the Ghana Under-17 Black Stars, said that his team was psychologically are mentally prepared against the Nigerian side. Black Starlets coach speaks.
Psychologically, they need to be very focused throughout the 90 minutes and then try as much as possible to make sure that they don't commit any mistakes like we've done in our previous games where we had a red card and conceded early goals. Once they are able to do that and then we'll travel into the game, they will be able to get their confidence and then play. And then we'll be able to turn some of them into offensive transitions where we could have even scored out of that. So tactically, we just played their captain out, and that was it.
Nigeria's representative in the CAF Confederation Cup, Abia Warriors and Kwara United, will still smile to the bank despite crashing out of the competition. Abia Warriors bowed out after a 2-1 aggregate defeat to Joliver of Mali, while Kwara United, popularly known as the Afonja Warriors, suffered a 5-3 loss to Ghanaian giants Ashanti Kotoko. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has announced that clubs eliminated in the preliminary rounds of its inter-club competitions will each receive an additional $50,000 on top of the $50,000 participation fee already guaranteed. This means both Abia Warriors and Kwara United will pocket $100,000 each, a financial boost that should help cushion the blow of their early exit. And that's the size of Sports Roundup in Nigeria. For Channel Africa Sports, Tony Ubane reporting from Lagos.
Africa, meet Abedi.
Yeah, that's me.
Abedi is a music lover through and through.
I really love African music.
He's got a taste for all kinds of tunes and spends his days listening to Channel Africa. Guess what? He didn't know.
Okay.
Channel Africa wants to help Abedi and all music lovers everywhere to discover even more incredible music. That is why Channel Africa is calling on all African musicians to submit their music. Musicians, remember to give us all your relevant information. Make your submissions at music@channelafrica.co.za. Submissions are your chance to be heard on radio. But sadly, they do not guarantee that you will be playlisted. All submissions will be carefully reviewed to see if they meet our station's requirement. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa at Play with Neto and ETO Chemane. Call us on +27 63 406 9126.
I can see my whole world changing.
And contribute to the conversation.
Look what the hot body can do. Focus. Look what the hot body can do. Body be dancing, slow wine, so my body so fine. Like bush, when I met her inside. 2 and I met her inside. Make sense, oh, make sense. Oh my God, I need resistance. Fragrance, when it from a distance. Make sense, oh, make sense. Body be dancing, controller, controller. I get remote for my holder. Make your body slow when I slow down. Put it on the low, no go loud down. You know the things I wanna do tonight. Unusual. Put it down, make I take away your peace of mind. You go blow like water, we get it freeze up like yeah. Open your eyes and look. Look what the hot body can do. I say, look. Focus. Look what the hot body can do. Body be dancing, slow wine, so my body so fine. Like bush when I met her inside. 2 and I met her inside. Make sense, oh, make sense. Oh my God, I need resistance. Fragrance when it from a distance. Make sense, oh, make sense. Body be look. Look what the hot body can do. I said, baby, look. Focus. Look what the hot body can do.
16:30 Central African Time. Awesome African sounds. Before the song, we played you Monique Seka, Okamane, and this one is titled Hot Body by Ira Star. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play. Last 30 minutes of the show, and very shortly we will find out what's happening on Mix Vibration with Jolene Nsungu, and that comes up just after Africa's Velvet Voice says goodbye. Action continues in the Kalin knockout. Orlando Pirates up against Siwelele FC. It is the second stanza of the match. 69 minutes of football has been played. Still no goals. Let's go to Escotini.
Siwelele will look for the quality ball in, hoping one of the big men can get on to the end of it. Who wants a luck player the Pirates to send in the swinger. That's the reason why the noise levels went up just a bit out at the Orlando Stadium. The master chef putting on his apron and getting ready to get into the kitchen. Well, reaching that stage in the game where a goal scored could very well be a winning goal here. It's been that tough to separate these two sides. For those just joining us, even at the end of the first half, the stats were pretty similar in the way of shots. And what was on target, Paris just edging Siwelele by 1 lead. Now, kick in a good area. Watani cutting across Moremi, who will pick up the yellow card. doesn't agree with the referee, that's Sepang Moremi. Well, he may have a bit of a case here. He doesn't necessarily come out and put his foot out for the challenge. They do come together and he's looking to avoid Botani, but can't help but put hands on him in an effort to maybe not crash into it. In the end, it appears maybe to Magalima as a push. After having looked at it again, I believe he may very well have been trying to avoid the opponent. It is again, much better ball this time. Bagazi with the initial touch. Now come on. Morano having to work to try and keep it moving, then in the end, he's away with...
16:33 Central African Time, a commentary courtesy of SABC Sport, that is Sizwe Mabena. It is still 0-0 between Orlando Pirates and Siwelele FC. Yesterday, Durban City had a good day on the pitch, beating Polokwane City by 4-1. Orlando Pirates are still on 0-0, while Orbit College and TS Galaxy, 73 minutes of football has been played and still 0-0. More action coming up later today. Golden Arrow Sabafana Bestende will take on Sekhukhune United at 1800 Central African Time. Mamelodi Sundowns will take on Marumo Gallants at 8 p.m. Central African Time. With action continuing tomorrow, Stellenbosch FC clashing against Kaizer Chiefs at 1500 Central African Time. Richards Bay versus Chippa United also at 3 p.m. tomorrow. And another match taking place at the same time is Amazulu versus Magezi. Actually, this match is at 1800 Central African Time tomorrow. Let's take a flight to London in Europe, where Arsenal, second based on the ongoing Premier League 2025-2026 season, is up against West Ham United, second from the bottom. 34 minutes of football has been played, 0-0.
Penalty appeal, but nothing in it. So VAR.
No, not for me. His arms by his side, it bounced up. On-field decision, right call.
So Arsenal's first corner and first opportunity from this sort of situation. Punch clear one-handed by Areola, only as far as Eza. Out for Trossard, came at him awkwardly, still tries to make something of it. The block again is an important one, this time by Magassa. Areola just about dealt with it. Not the most orthodox manner in which he attempted to do so. Arsenal's 12 Premier League goals so far this season coming from set pieces. They have scored the most from corner kicks of any side in this division, 6 of them. West Ham, by contrast, have conceded 8 times from corners, the worst such record in the division. Always likely to have a part to play in this story then. Saka with the latest corner in towards Calafiori, will come back for Bukayo Saka. Eza.
The Gunners of London, Arsenal, is still 0-0 against West Ham United. Second place to Arsenal versus second from the bottom. Those are exciting moments in football, and West Ham United is one of those voodoo teams to Arsenal because they've always given them trouble, and that's one of the reasons why Arsenal failed to lift the Premier League, because of these kind of matches where you play against a side that is in the bottom half, and when they meet you, they bring out their A game and they end up walking away victors. And when you lose out on the league with a point or two, you remember those matches. More matches in the Premier League. AFC Bournemouth beat Fulham by 3-1 yesterday. Leeds United went down by 2-1 against Tottenham Hotspur, and Manchester United is leading Sunderland by 2-0. It is a good result for Manchester United. Many of their fans have been crying day and night, saying, when will good times come? I'm certain they will celebrate this victory. Arsenal is still ongoing against West Ham 0-0. Chelsea will take on Liverpool at 18:30 12:30 Central African Time. Action continues tomorrow. Everton Crystal Palace at 1500 Central African Time. Newcastle takes on Nottingham Forest. The Tricky Trees also at the same time. Wolverhampton Wanderers looking for a way out of the danger zone against Brighton, also at 3 p.m. Aston Villa will lock horns against Burnley at 3 p.m. Central African Time, while at 17:30 tomorrow it will be Brentford, the Bees, up against the Citizens, Manchester City. Let's now welcome to Africa at Play our correspondent based in Lagos, Nigeria, Tony Tonero Ubani, to give us the latest in Nigerian sport. So, Ubani, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Yeah, good afternoon, Neto, and I'm happy to join you this afternoon.
Thank you so much indeed. If you're an Arsenal fan, you will be happy to hear that Arsenal just scored against West Ham United on the 37th minute, and that gives them a good lead going into the halftime break. We've got Tony Ubani, our correspondent from Lagos in Nigeria. So Ubani, Eric Chelle, the mentor of the Super Eagles, has announced a 23-man squad for the clash against the Crocodiles and the Cheetahs. Please tell us more.
Yeah, Neto. Yeah, I must say that we're looking at it. I must say that if just by the names and clubs of where these players that are in jail, invited for the two remaining qualifiers, that ordinarily, they should be cruising. But then that's not football. Just looking at the list, of players and clubs where these players play. Let me just give you, for instance, when the goalkeeper, Stanley Wabale, of course, is number one, and, he plays for Chippa United, that's in South Africa. Ahmad Obasogi, Singida Black Stars, that's in Tanzania. Adele Adebayo, the third goalkeeper, plays in Vovos FC in Greece. Then let's look at the defenders. William Ekong, Al Khalid, Saudi Arabia. Calvin Bassett, Fulham, England. Oluwasemilogo Ajayi, Hull City, England. Bright Osai Samuel, Birmingham City, England. Bruno Yemechi, Olympiacos, Greece. Felix Ago, Werder Bremen, Germany. And Benjamin Fredericks, Dende FC in Belgium. And we move to the midfield where we have Alex Iwobi from Fulham FC in England. Frank Onyeka from Brentford FC in England. Al Hassan Yusuf Abdullahi, New England Revolution, USA. And Wilfred in the Besiktas FC in Turkey. And of course, the attackers, we have Ademola Lookman, Atlanta FC, Italy, Samuel Chukwueze, AC Milan, Italy, Victor Osimhen, Galatasaray in Turkey, Simon Moses, Paris FC in France, Cyril Dessers, Glasgow Rangers, Scotland, Tolu Arokodare, KRS, Belgium, Tere Murphy, OG Nice in France, Akpo Damuel, Adam, Sevilla FC in Spain, Olakunle Olusegun, Paris Nizen in Novgorod in Russia. Those are the names, and of course, clubs that Richel have finally invited, for the two remaining matches, that will be a make or mark for Nigeria's World Cup qualifiers. And indeed, so many people are talking. We've seen South Africa dump 3 points, and then, giving a ray of hope for Nigeria. But then even in that ray of hope, Neto, I must say that, the journey is still far, because that's as fans, as Nigerians, driven by patriotism, are talking about if South Africa loses their 2 games, if Benin Republic loses their 2 games. And perhaps everybody thinking that God is a Nigerian, because when they say that South Africa, Benin loses their 2 games, then Nigeria will not lose their 2 games. That's the permutation out there in Nigeria. But I must tell you, Neto, that it's a difficult road for Nigeria, because if clubs, if they lose their games and Nigeria lose their games, I think, that will be the end of the road, Neto.
16:41 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, we're getting an update from West Africa with Tony Tonero Ubani, our Lagos-based correspondent on board. We take a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues with all things Nigerian sport with Tony Tonero Ubani.
Love music, love culture, love life. Then you will love Channel Africa.
Mkhanza zokhutsa amuna ndiazimayi
kapena kuti gender based violence GBV zikuononga mioyo komanso kuphwasula mizi zikuchitika m'manyumba, m'masukulu, malo ogwirira ntchito ndipo kwambiri mwakachetechete koma sizikuyenera kupitirira. Mukazimva yankhulani, ngati mwakhuzidwa funani chithandizo chifukwa kusachita chilichonse sikuthandiza. Mverani kuma wireless onse 14 a SABC kuchokera lachitatu pa 23 mwezi uno wa Julai kuti mumve zokambirana, malangizo, masewero, zionetsero za maphunziro ndi mafunso okhuza nkhanza za amuna ndi azimayi ndi akatswiri, anthu opulumuka ku nkhanzazi, okhazikitsa lamulo komanso dziko lonse lokhuzidwa ndi nkhanzazi. Zonsezi pa wireless yomwe mumayikonda ya SABC. Imbirani pa nambala 0800 428 428 kuti munene za nkhanzazi kapena kupeza chithandizo. Nkhanza zokhuza amuna ndi azimayi zimatha ndi inu. Uthenga ukufikani kuchokera ku SABC.
Where champions rise and legends are made. Join Neto Chemane on Africa at Play, only on Channel Africa.
16:43 Central African Time. A very warm welcome to Africa at Play. If you have just joined us, the journey to the US, Mexico and Canada continues with match day 9 and 10 of the FIFA World Cup African qualifiers in this upcoming FIFA break, where Libya will take on Cape Verde on Wednesday the 8th of October at 3 p.m. Central African Time. At the same time, same day, it's Mauritius versus Cameroon, the Indomitable Lions, while Ethiopia takes on Guinea-Bissau also on the same day, same time. Eswatini from Southern Africa takes on the Portuguese-speaking nation Angola also on Wednesday at 1500 Central African Time. Chad versus Mali at 1800 Central African Time, while Comoros at the same time will lock horns with Madagascar. Sierra Leone versus Burkina Faso at 1800 Central African Time on Wednesday the 8th of October. Central African Republic takes on the Black Stars Ghana at 1800 Central African Time. Djibouti will lock horns with Egypt at 1800 Central African Time. Tanzania Taifa Stars will battle it out with Zambia at 2100 Central African Time, while Niger will face Congo at 2100 Central African Time. And action continues on Thursday the 9th of October at 1500 Burundi versus Kenya. Harambee Stars Liberia will lock horns with Namibia on Thursday the 9th of October at 1800. The Mambas of Mozambique versus Guinea on Thursday the 9th of October at 1800, while Somalia faces Algeria, the North Africans at 1800. Malawi versus Equatorial Guinea, and Botswana will take on the Uganda Cranes. South Sudan up against Senegal on Friday the 10th of October at 2 p.m. Central African Time. Gambia versus Gabon at 1500 Central African Time on the same day, while Togo takes on DR Congo at 1500 Central African Time. Seychelles versus Ivory Coast, Sudan versus Mauritania, and both of these matches are at 3 p.m. Central African Time on Friday the 10th. Sao Tome y Principe versus Tunisia, Rwanda takes on Benin, while Lesotho is up against Nigeria, the Super Eagles. Talking about Lesotho versus Nigeria, say Ubani, does it matter who the referee is in a crucial match like this? I see FIFA has appointed a referee from Chad.
Yes, absolutely. It matters, and some people believe in law because this referee is well known in Nigeria, because the Chadian official Al Hadi Allow Mamat, the referee for next week's World Cup, is not a stranger to Nigeria. The match day 9 encounter is built for the new Peter Mugabe Stadium in Polokwane, South Africa, on Friday, and will kick off at 6 p.m. South African time, which is 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Allow, who was also in charge for Nigeria's 1-0 win over Rwanda in New York on September 6th. Match day 7 will work with compatriots Bugala Issa, assistant referee 1, Musa Hafiz, assistant referee 2, and Abdul Karim Usman, the fourth official. FIFA also appointed Kenyan official Alice Damaris Kimani as referee assessor, while William McNulty Chungwe from Eswatini will be in the role for the match commissioner. Indeed, a man has been officiated before, and of course Nigeria won. That means when he officiates again, that luck will also follow Nigeria. That's the way we see it, NATO.
In an event that the Super Eagles of Nigeria come out victors and not make it to the World Cup, will the job of Eric Chelle still be safe?
Yes, NATO, as it is now, they are pitching on a very dangerous place. I must tell you, Nigerians are really very... It's about the Nigeria Football Federation officials, the administrators. You know, they are the ones that we all see that have bungled Nigeria's chances. So almost everybody is praying that perhaps there is a miracle for them, you know, to win or, you know, get, you know, to pitch at the World Cup. But I must tell you that indeed, if it happens, you know, that Nigeria does not qualify, I think the anger will be a sweeping one. And then people will begin to examine the role of Eric Chelle, even though he has not committed anything. But I think his only offense is the fact that, you know, they employed him, you know, at a very bad time when things have already spoiled before he came.
Tony Tonero Ubani. So, Ubani, thank you so much for updating us with all things Nigerian sport. All the best. May Africa win.
Thank you so much, very.
There you have it. That's how we wrap up our update from West Africa in Lagos, Nigeria, with Tony Tonero Ubani. When Africa's Velvet Voice says goodbye, there's another smooth voice coming your way. Jolene Nsungu with Mix Vibration. Bonjour.
Bonjour Neto, content de vous avoir encore aujourd'hui. Nous rappelons à tous nos auditeurs d'Afrique partout où ils nous suivent qu'aujourd'hui nous aurons encore une panoplie de musique africaine. Nous aurons le R&B, le rap, nous aurons la rumba et beaucoup d'autres musiques. Et surtout nous avons un invité spécial, alors restez connectés. C'est le meilleur comédien du moment, Shepard Akunatakasi. Il sera avec nous sur Mix Vibration bientôt à 17h. Merci.
Merci. 16:49 Central African Time. We take our final break. When we come back, we will zoom into the groups of the FIFA World Cup African qualifiers, where different African nations are looking for that special ticket to the United States, Mexico, and Canada. If you are an Arsenal fan, Arsenal have just scored a goal. Let's see. It looks like the referee is pointing at an offside. Let's have a look once more. We will update you, but the ball did make it to the back of the net.
Mix Vibration sur Channel Africa.
When we come back, we'll update you on all things the Premier League action currently underway.
Mix Vibration sur Channel Africa.
Qu'est-ce qui vous a amené à dire ça? Est-ce que vous avez observé un certain nombre d'événements dans la vie? Est-ce que c'était par rapport à une expérience? Est-ce que vous avez rencontré des choses qui vous ont dit il faut de la patience, comme ça les choses vont venir au bon moment et les bons dieux pourra peut-être me visiter?
Oui, c'était justement un conseil que le Seigneur m'a fait inspirer pour donner à son peuple, parce qu'il y a la plupart des gens, pendant que Dieu bénit les autres, ils pensent que Dieu les a oubliés, et pendant que Dieu ouvre pour les autres, ils pensent que peut-être Dieu n'a pas pu écouter leurs prières. Alors, ce n'est pas le cas. Alors, Dieu bénit tout un chacun de nous avec son temps. Donc, le temps de Dieu est toujours le meilleur dans la vie de tout un chacun de nous.
Mix Vibration, tous les dimanches de 18h à 19h, temps universel.
You like what we do on Channel Africa? Then follow us on our socials. Channel Africa 1 on all social pages. And get the African perspective. Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
16:51 Central African Time. The match between Arsenal and West Ham has just gone on a halftime break. It's still 1-0 in favor of the Gunners of London. They hit an upright just before the halftime break, and that ball was cleared before it crossed the line. So it still remains 1-0. Let's update you on the groups of the FIFA World Cup African qualifiers. In Group A, Egypt is leading the pack after 8 matches. They are sitting on 20 points, while Burkina Faso lies second with 15 points. In Group B, we've got Teranga Lions of Senegal with 18 points after 8 matches. and they are followed by DR Congo with 16 points, just a difference of 2 points. In Group C, Benin leading South Africa on a goal difference, both nations on 14 points. South Africa was sitting comfortably on 17 points until FIFA intervened and docked 3 points for the game they played against Lesotho, which South Africa triumphed for fielding an ineligible player in Teboho Mokoena, who was still supposed to be serving a suspension but played on the day. Admin disorder right there. So the two nations are sitting on 14 points. In Group D, Cabo Verde is leading ahead of Cameroon with 19 points, and the Indomitable Lions have 15 points. In Group E, Morocco, the Atlas Lions leading Group E with 21 points, followed by Taifa Stars on 10 points, a difference of 11 points between the two nations. Definitely Morocco heading to the World Cup. There's also Ivory Coast, the Elephants leading Group F with 20 points, followed closely by Gabon with 19 points, just a difference of a single point. In Group G, Algeria having a lead on the summit with 19 points, while Uganda Cranes are lying second with 15 points, a difference of 4 points. In Group H, Tunisia, North Africans leading their group with 22 points, followed by Southern African outfit, the Brave Warriors, Namibia, on 15 points, while Ghana is leading on Group I, followed by Madagascar with 19 and 16 points respectively, difference of 3 points. And all of these African nations will be returning to the battlefield in this upcoming FIFA week, where they will be playing match day 9 and match day 10 to conclude the FIFA World Cup African qualifiers. And after match day 10, we'll get to know all the nations from the African continent that have booked their ticket to the United States, Mexico, and Canada, that World Cup coming up in 2026. 16:54 Central African time. It's time to say goodbye. Worry not, we will be back tomorrow, same place, same time, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central African time. Thank you to Catherine Chuchu TV Maleka, our technical operator, together with my producer Andisiwe Fagemalu Zobona Mali, not forgetting the social media guru to Miss Lema, and our audiovisuals specialist, that is Sebenzile Msindo. My name is Neto NETO Chemani. Hosiati konyangazi mumkhajo phandle konjani moyani vukuvuku dendele. Africa at Play, asteleli siyashaya. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.